This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are live, sir.
All right.
People who are not commissioners, I'm just going to mute cameras for right now. All right, everybody? Or if you can turn your cameras off, only commissioners, please. Thank you. You're all set, sir.
Marlon, would you like to proceed with the virtual instructions?
Sure. This is a meeting of the Town of Pembroke Park Workshop Commission meeting at 6 a.m. Virtual instructions. Notice is hereby given that the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida will hold a virtual workshop commission meeting utilizing communications media technology in accordance with Emergency Ordinance 2020-009 dated November 10th, 2020, pertaining to conducting local government meetings while under the public health emergency relating to the spread of the coronavirus. Workshop commission meeting Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 6 p.m. until approximately 11 p.m. You can call in by dialing 1-866-899-4679. Again, the toll-free number is 1-866-899-4679. The other United States number is 1-571-317-3116, 1-571-317-3116. The access code is 498-563-717, 498-563-717. 2 hours prior to the meeting, you can submit a text or voicemail at 954-707-9820. Any member of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matter, including on items on the agenda, may submit their comments by email to the town clerk at townclerk@tppfl.gov. All comments submitted by email that, if read orally, are 3 minutes or less, shall be read into the record. All comments submitted by email shall be made a part of the public record. If any member of the public requires additional information about this town commission meeting or has any questions about how to submit a public comment at the meeting, please contact Marlene D. Martel, Town Clerk, Town of Pembroke Park, 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park, Florida, 33023. The number is 954-966-4600 and it's extension 235. That's it, sir.
And just as a reminder, prior to we start, all commissioners need to keep their cameras on at all times during the meeting. So number 2, call to order. Time is 6:05 p.m. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Unmute microphones. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Clark? Commissioner Clark?
Yep,
Okay.
Here.
Clerk Commissioner DeVille?
Here.
Vice Mayor Cohen?
Here.
Mayor Jacobs?
Here.
We
Okay,
have
number
a
5.
we have a quorum.
All right. Number 5, additions, deletions, or withdrawals from the agenda. Anyone?
Mayor, if I may, we do have some additions to the agenda, but they were forwarded to everyone prior to the meeting, and the changes were made to uploaded. The changes were made also to the website, which were I uploaded the complete report for code enforcement. I also went ahead and uploaded all the departments, or most of the departments submitted their presentations, which are now at the very end on under the town manager under 15.2. I actually uploaded the reports from the different departments, and I had to make one change to the finance under number 9.3. The revenues and expenditures, I uploaded a revision as well.
Okay.
So those are all the.
this is the town attorney. I'd like to add an item regarding hiring a traffic engineer and a civil engineer to assist in the progressive waste litigation.
Okay. What number do you want to call this? 13.3?
Marlon, what do you suggest?
If we could just add it on to your section.
13.4?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, 13.4, yep.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, deletion on 16.2, we're gonna keep the Sierra Club and take off Capoeira for all and professional firefighters. We'll bring that up at the next workshop.
16.2, keeping Sierra Club
Yes,
and removing the other two?
yes.
Okay. Marlon, did you get that?
Hold on 1 second, I'm sorry. 16.2,
Yep.
we're removing?
Capoeira for all and professional firefighters.
Okay.
Moving that to the next workshop.
And I think we're also removing 13.3.
Hold on, let me get there. 13. We're removing 13.3?
No, I have a couple comments. You can keep that there, Marlon.
Oh, you want to keep it, sir? Okay,
Yeah.
no, then I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Clerk Commissioner DeVaul?
No, I'm fine. Everything's
Vice
good.
Mayor Cohen?
No, I have nothing. Thank you.
And Town Manager? JC? Good? All right. And let's see here. And I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Number 6, presentations. Do we have the Honorable Senator Shevrin Jones with us this evening?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mayor.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You got for those who don't know, this is our Senator Shevrin Jones, and he has a presentation for us this evening.
Hey, thank you so much, Mayor, and to the entire commission. It's definitely good to see all of you. Mayor, I just want to thank you so much for your support in the last vaccination event that took place. So I'm very appreciative of it, of you coming out, and also to the entire commission. And before I even get started, it's more of a rather than being just a presentation. It's definitely one just coming to you all to tell you what's happening right now as we're preparing for the legislative session that's about to happen on March 2nd, and where we currently stand within the state based on what the budget estimating conference has just made known to us in the last couple of weeks. So it is definitely it's been a pleasure to be able to serve Pembroke Park in the House, now being able to serve Pembroke Park in the Senate, and I really appreciate you all for this honor. With that being said, I want to put this out on the table because I did get from my office, and they shared with me some information that I want to assure the commission, also the mayor, as it pertains to annexation or merging of cities, because that's what I heard. First, let me be extremely clear on something. That has not my intention. That is nothing. That is not why I got in office, or to go into the Senate to do that. And I want to make sure I start with that, because when I saw the presentation, there has been nothing that I've said outside of a conversation that the members of the city of West Park wanted to have, and that's all they wanted. They wanted to have a conversation, and that same conversation is happening not just in West Park, but it's also happening in Pompano. So much so that the delegation is having a presentation on annexation. That's not on my agenda. What's on my agenda for this year is COVID relief for small businesses, making sure that our families can get back on their feet with unemployment. That's what's on my agenda this year. So I want to make sure I debunk that so you all know. Currently now in the Capitol, we have some restrictions that have been put in place to protect the public health of the community. All of our staff are required to wear masks. And in the Senate, we are not allowed to take any in-person meetings in the Capitol, which is encouraging virtual meetings with lobbyists for safety. And we are getting tested weekly for that reason. We do know that this is going to be a very difficult year. The budget estimating conference have made it clear that we are looking at a 1.5 to $2 billion shortfall within the state budget. And I'm making sure that I share this with all the cities that I represent, because I think it's important that I not set you up for failure, and I don't set myself up for failure in saying that we're going to get all the stuff that you put forth when it comes to the appropriations. I do know that after speaking with Senate leadership, the leadership has made it extremely clear that what we bring to them, they're going to ask, what is your priority? What's the priority of that city? My goal is, as I go to each city, I'm telling cities, give me your top two, with the top two that you have that you want me to fight like hell for, and that's what we're going to do in this office. We're going to fight for you on those top projects that you have. In the past 8 years in the House, we've been able to work with you all on the septic to sewer transition, the town hall on the EOC hardening improvements, the John P. Lyons stormwater plumbing participation, the community garden, the county line road safety, and many more things we were able to do. And so we've gotten funding for these. Some of those things the governor vetoed, some of the things we were able to get across the finish line. It is definitely my hope that those things that you all are looking to do this year, that we worked extremely hard on our end, and whoever the House sponsor for the Freedom Park bills are, we both work in conjunction with each other to get across the finish line those things that we need. I can't reiterate more the importance of the town of Freedom Park understanding that the biggest goal that I want to make sure that you all know, as far as this office is concerned right now, that we're pushing some of our legislative priorities that we have put forth already is for healthcare access. One of those other things that we have put forth is for small business loan program, a small business reimbursement program to go back in, tax credit for businesses who provide full-time work for former interns, a path forward for people who cannot afford to pay fines and fees for their license renewal. And the one biggest thing that I'm pushing hard on, and we're hoping to get a hearing in the next couple of weeks, is eviction assistance. We do know that COVID has caused for a time where people not only are they out of work, many of them have lost their homes. And because they have lost their homes, we are trying to make sure that as they get back on their feet, that that this period is considered whole harmless for those individuals. So when they go back to a rental property, that they're not being denied. And so our main goal this year is to bring relief to not just individuals within our district, but the 21 million people in the state of Florida. It's my hope as the mayor and I continue to build a relationship with each other, along with your town manager, Brother JC. It's good to see you, brother. It's my hope that we will continue to build so the town of Pembroke Park can be successful. Because I want you all to know, if you all fail, I have not done my part. So I want to make sure that you are successful. So I'm open for questions, Mayor, if there are any, and I'm around if needed.
I have a couple of quick things. I know you and I have a meeting on February 1st.
Yes, sir.
And I got a couple things that I'll bring to your attention at the time, because I got a couple ideas for evictions. We're getting a lot of calls for that around here too. People are getting concerned. Reduced businesses is a huge concern for our town. We have approximately 468 businesses. So, that is the majority of Pembroke Park is business. So with reduction of businesses, reduction in tax revenue as well for the town. So keeping those small businesses in place is critical for the town of Pembroke Park. I personally walked door to door to our businesses, giving them the CARES information. We built up a spreadsheet with all the businesses, and we're trying to provide it as quick as it comes out, just to help these businesses stay around. When it comes to healthcare, us commissioners here in the town, we're able to put a program this year, and it doesn't really help out more outside the town, but in the town staff, we were able to provide family medical for spouse and family for the town for $340 a month after redoing our medical benefits and staying with what our budget was last year. So we were actually able to provide more medical coverage and help those people out. I had conversation with Congressman Schultz about healthcare, and how she's trying to attack it as well. So I got a couple ideas noted down, and when we get that chance to meet, I'll discuss those with you at the time. Does anyone else have any questions for Senator Jones?
Yes, I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, and Senator Jones, congratulations to your election. And I know you'll do a phenomenal job in your new senator position. And I am very pleased that you at least brought out up front your plans for the year. And I like that. I'm sure we all do, because a lot of times we're on pins and needles. And so that I thank you for that. The mention of annexation, that's what I'll say it right out. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Cohen?
Well, Senator
I
Jones.
would like to, I'm sorry, I would just like to say, thank you, and we all look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Cohen. And my screen was up, and so I can see you up there. Vice Mayor, thank you for coming out last
Yes.
week.
It was my honor.
All right, Clerk Commissioner, go ahead.
Same here, Senator Jones. I'd like to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And I don't really have much question. You've touched on everything that I wanted to ask, except the annexation part. You say it's not on your agenda for this year. Is it just this year alone, or is it for your term?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's not on my agenda at all. I will tell you that there are individuals in the city of West Park has asked, members of the city of West Park have asked for years that they at least have a hearing to understand. And Commissioner Clark is aware of this, because this has been going on for quite some time. And as leaders, I know you all will understand this. If you ignore people, all they do is going to get louder. They'll keep getting louder if they feel like as if they're not being heard. So all we're doing is allowing for that space to happen. I'm not the only person who's hearing this conversation about annexation. Senator Thurston is hearing it in his area of Pompano, where people have been talking about it for so long, to where the Broward delegation is just going to have a hearing on it. For Pompano, they're going to do it for West Park, they're going to do it for Pembroke Park. They're going to do it so those people who have those frustrations, so they can hear. And I don't want to shut them down or shut them up to not be able to express that. So, but it's not going to be a bill that I found to do that. I think it's counterintuitive anything like that, because I think the issues that we need to deal with are more pressing than that right now. And so I want to make sure I tell you, put that on record, Commissioner.
All right, thank you. Just wanted some clarification.
No problem, Mayor. I do want to put this out there that yesterday I did meet with Secretary Moskowitz, and I did ask. They are trying to do looking for a vaccination site location that will be able to give 6,000 vaccines. I did take the conversation that you and I had a few weeks ago to be able to utilize the park as a place to be able to do it. They are going to send someone out tomorrow from the Department of Emergency Management. I mean, don't put me on that. Marina from my office is going to reach out to you, JC. But they're going to send someone out to look at the park, and it's going to be between you all and Miramar where they're looking at too. But I know I did put it out there because they were looking for. He needed to give them two options of where they can set up a place to give 6,000 vaccines in the next 2 weeks. Okay. So, JC, look for Marina's call.
And I'll make sure just have them call me, and I'll be glad to take them out there and give them a tour.
Okay, JC.
All right. And I'll make sure I'm there with JC when that happens. So
okay, Mayor.
In this area, because there's nothing around Hollywood, Hollandale, West Park, Pembroke Park. We kind of need something down here in South Broward.
I agree.
No, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We've been in contact with emergency management, and we keep putting our name out there as much as possible with emails. So we'll see how tomorrow goes, and hopefully we can do something for these communities.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Mayor, if I hear anything beforehand, I'll just shoot you a text message.
No problem. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Y'all
for
be
being here
good.
tonight with us.
Thank y'all. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's move on. We have under presentation 6.2, proposal from Broward Sheriff's Department, Captain Croker. Police BSO proposal.
Mr. Mayor, I believe that Major Timothy Irving is on. As you know, this has been the commission had requested a few months back a proposal from Broward Sheriff's Office for police service down at Pembroke Park only. And well, this is the result, and I'll just turn it over to Major Irving.
Well, wait 1 second before you guys get started. I received from Captain Kroger about 3 minutes ago a presentation. I already sent it over to Mark. Did Mark, are you able to upload that presentation?
Yeah, hold on.
Just got it.
All right, hold on. Hold on.
While we wait, Major Irving, would you like to introduce yourself to the commissioners? Tell them a little about yourself.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to bring a presentation towards in front of the commission. Good evening. Thank you for having me. I am Timothy Irvin. I work for the Broward Sheriff's Office, obviously. I'm the major over the South region. What that means is basically everything 595 South that BSO provides services for, to include the airport and the seaport, is what I currently control, coupled with some specialized units. With that, just to kind of get ahead of my presentation, I guess, if I could, I currently am, when I started with the Broward Sheriff's Office way back when, I started my career in District 1, which is the South Broward District. During that time, it was unincorporated Hollywood, and we worked also in the town of Pembroke Park. So leaving there, going and getting promoted and doing other things, coming back from internal affairs in different places, I came back as a criminal investigations sergeant for, again, West Park, Pembroke Park. During that time, and I jumped at the chance to become a detective sergeant in the town, because it's where I started, it's what I love. So I have some intimate knowledge with some friends that I have that actually live in the city. So to be able to continue to represent Pembroke Park, West Park, South Broward District is an honor for me. I think that's the presentation that's up, so I'll go. So today we're going to talk about having a separation of services from the city of West Park. Next slide, please. So we've currently had a relationship with Pembroke Park for approximately 41 years. Like, as I mentioned before, during that time I was hired and became a deputy in West Park, Pembroke Park, or unincorporated Hollywood at the time. And I've done a lot of things in the city, from narcotics to in both cities, in South Broward District, all in South Broward. I've done a lot of different things in that area and very familiar with it. So we've had this relationship, and I think it's been an outstanding relationship. It's actually Pembroke Park is our second contract city that we had in the Broward Sheriff's Office. Next slide, please. So as you know, the town of Pembroke Park is approximately 1.8 square miles, a population of about close to 6,800 people. What's interesting about the town of Pembroke Park, as you know, the daytime population of Pembroke Park swells. And what I mean by that, you have your commercial employees, your customers, and your commuters. just like you're saying for your town, the small town, that means big business. There's a lot of big business that occurs in Pembroke Park, which brings a lot of people to the city. Something else that's peculiar about Pembroke Park is each winter, we have our Canadian family that comes down, and they almost double the population of Pembroke Park during the times that they're here. Next slide, please. So an antiquated way of calculating police services was the police to population ratio. Based on the number that we're using, if we're using 16 patrol personnel. So let me explain that real quick. 16 patrol personnel is specifically the people, the deputies that are patrolling the city. That has nothing to do with your command staff. That has nothing to do with your chief, your administrative staff. That's nothing but your patrol officers. So in those patrol officers, and that's how it has to be calculated, they did a population of, we did it on 16 patrol personnel, which would give you approximately 2.3%. Next slide, please. Because that model of the population doesn't necessarily give you the correct numbers, because if I give you a population of one city that has 6,800 citizens, as opposed to, or residents, as opposed to another one that has 6,800 residents, they're not apples and apples. You have to consider the calls for service. Something that goes in this formula that the IACP model provides is, the calls for service, the preventative patrol buffer. You got the hours needed for staff to patrol units. Numbers of officers that need to staff one patrol element. So using all of these different aspects of is how they calculate that number for your police services and how many people that you need, especially when it comes down to calls for service. Next slide, please. So this is the formula that they use, calls for service, the average time, all the things that we just mentioned on the previous slide, and it gives you a total of what you see down highlighted here at the bottom, which is 15 patrol officers is what it indicates for us to what's needed to patrol the town of Pembroke Park. Again, let me make sure we understand that this is direct supervision. This does not include your direct supervision, your detectives, executive staff, and administrative staff. Next slide, please. So this is what we foresee as a district organizational chart. So you have the captain, you have that administrative specialist, the executive officer, who's like the deputy chief, 5 sergeants, 16 deputies, 2 detectives, and 1 CSIA. Now, just if I can stay on the 16 deputies, you have your patrol element, then you have your detectives that are needed. So currently there is 2 detectives that are assigned to Pembroke Park, based on the current contract that you have now. Those 2 detectives are busy, and to move down or detract from those detectives, you start to get quantity and not necessarily the quality. So that's why we have the 2 detectives. And we can go through some other, if you have some other questions, we'll come back to the org chart later on. Next slide, please. So to move away from the West Park, Pembroke Park contract, which is a 60-40 split, we're currently spending $3.2 million. To go to a sole district, you're talking about bumping up your contract services, which include a plethora of different things, up another $2.7 million, which gives you an overall cost of 5.3. Next slide, please. So with BSO, as you know, we provide 24/7 response calls for service, 911, narcotics, K9, community policing, aviation, criminal investigations, evidence, laboratories, school resource, legal, risk management, which is a huge one for cities. Our own internal affairs division, which is separate from that district or separate from that police agency, if you will, that gives you a fair, unbiased look at different things and the things that we're doing here. Media relations, workers' comp, which is another big thing for cities. Another thing that I think the cities enjoy about having contract services through BSO is we absorb all the liability costs and related associated costs related with it. Your lawsuits, your workers' comp claims, union grievances. One big thing that we come across often is our training costs. Not only in the training costs, but it's your pre-hire training, your ongoing and remedial trainings as well. Then you have some administrative costs that are not passed on to the city, but we control those costs, which is your administrative costs, your selection and assessment for new hires, your backgrounds, your recruitment, office supplies, and equipment. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Some other factors that, one sec. Could you go back once? Thank you. Some of the other factors that are calculated in this consideration is your staff salaries, benefit, uniforms, computer software, air cards, body armor, radios, body-worn cameras, overtime, office supplies, vehicle maintenance, fuel, ammo, digital evidence, etc. That list is way too long to put on to continue to, to talk about. I just picked out some of the ones that I thought that were more important. And on to your last slide. To reiterate, we at the Broward Sheriff's Office love the town of Pembroke Park. We love the people that live in the town of Pembroke Park. If I could insert my opinion is that we should stay with the current services that we're providing now. I understand that there's some type of breakdown. When I met with city manager and the mayor, which was a very interesting conversation, we started to hear about some complaints and some of the things, some of the targets that we might have been missing or having a misunderstanding with anything, with all relationships. We have to have a level of communication, and in that communication, we need to be clear to articulate the things that we need to articulate. Somebody told me years ago that unarticulated expectations is premeditated resentment. So we've gotten to a point where we are not necessarily on the same page, but however, I believe that because of this long-standing relationship that we have, any of these obstacles that we have are solely just what they are, an obstacle, something that we can overcome and get by. If we in turn have these conversations, and another point that if I can bring up is community policing. A lot of times people say, oh, well, you don't do community policing. But the problem with community policing is we all have our idea of what community policing is. And because we're not on the same page, or we might not be on the same page, and we don't have a clear understanding of what community policing or what the definitions of community policing is from someone else's perspective, we sometimes might not be missing we might be missing the target. So with that, that's my opinion. But again, we do not want to lose the relationship that we currently have with the the town of Pembroke Park. Again, we love you guys. We appreciate everything that we have, and I appreciate you guys giving me the time to hear us out, see where our perspective was, and we can maybe, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to ask or answer any questions.
All right, I do have a couple of questions for you. I'm going to ask one. Mark, could you possibly go back to the page with the numbers on it? I just think there might be an error in there.
This one?
I can't
Is that
see
the one, sir?
It's not displaying.
All right, give it a sec. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me bring it back. There you go. Hold on. That one right there, sir?
That one right there. Major Irvine, I just want to point out in all fairness, so we all see that there's an error here. On the bottom, it says there's a 2.79 million difference. It's actually about a 2.1 million difference. I'm no mathematician, but if we kind of round that to 3.3 and 5.4, it's about 2.1 versus 2.7. I believe.
Well, that's, I might have copied it down wrong, but I
Okay.
appreciate that. I appreciate that because it makes it not so much worse. Thank you.
Well, that's 2 million more than we're paying now. So 2.1 versus 2.7, you know, that helps you on that side. So in all fairness, I wanted to have the numbers correct.
And I do appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to start with the commissioners. Vice Mayor Cohen, do you have any questions? No? Clerk Commissioner, do you have any questions?
No questions, but we can't work with these numbers. We're trying to save money, not spend more. So yeah, I wouldn't go for that.
And Commissioner Clark, do you have any questions?
Yeah, not at this time.
Okay. I do have a couple of questions here. So basically just looking at this, we're looking about 27 is what your staffing is. And just done a quick math trip for divide, that's about 200,000 per person that I broke it down as. Are there gonna be any startup costs associated with this? Because when we spoke, we discussed that.
So I spoke with our finance department today. Because you're already an existing customer, the startup costs in and of itself outside of a building are going to be minimal. So I didn't feel it was necessary to even bring it up because it's the cost that we're talking about is either minimal or non-existent based on what I was told today.
But possibly there is startup cost.
I don't want to commit to either or. But what I will tell you is based on my conversation today, it wasn't even worth mentioning it.
Okay. Base of operation, would you be operating out of your own facility or would we be needing to provide a space?
Thank you for bringing that up. That's another thing that's considered. We're considering basically what these numbers are based on us providing a building for us to be in. Now, if you decided to go and I understand that you're making some changes in the current building that you're in now, those costs would obviously be subtracted out of this contract.
Okay. How many other towns or municipalities in Broward have shared contracts?
None.
So us and West Park are the only two that have a shared contract?
That's it. And I gotta tell you, I oversee a few other cities, and just the cost associated with running those cities, because you share a cost, there's a huge savings in doing that for both cities.
And in our discussion, you know, I told you over the years, multiple times this town has tried to separate from BSO because we pay 100% of our ad valorem tax for police and fire, when realistically we should be paying about 50 to 60% of our ad valorem tax for our public services of police and fire. So when it came in, you know, with the conversation, we're already in a lawsuit with BSO for overbilling. And so that's one issue, but we're at 100% ad valorem tax. So we're trying to do a contract for our town to establish our town independently from West Park. So, and I understand what you're saying, that the joint contract keeps it for the cheaper price, but you know, we're already there. This adds 2.1 roughly $1 million to our annual budget, which just is not there. You know, that's we're trying to reduce the cost to bring our ad valorem, you know, what we spend down. So, and what this is way higher than I even expected. So I was guesstimating in the 4.5 million range. So quality and community policing, I just want to touch with you because this is something that, you know, with your background and experience, is something that I tried addressing with you and the chief or before. We have multiple units for our town, joint town, on day shift. They spend hours sitting in our parks together, 3-4 hours with all 4 units, 3 units. I've observed them over there. Our staff observes them over there. They sit on one side of the park or the other. My biggest complaint since I've been here is lack of patrol through our communities. and this includes West Park as well, because we do have that joint contract. The units do not patrol through our mobile home parks. I literally work from my patio and I'm out all the time. But if I go over to town hall, they're sitting in the parks. And I understand, being former law enforcement myself, I've sat in my car doing my reports too. But when it's on the daily and we're not getting the service that we're asking for, it's very difficult. So I did put in a public records request for the GPS tracking data of the day units, so I could show you guys where the problem is, when they could be out driving through the community, because you know as well as I do, presence in itself is a deterrent. And when we don't have that, that's a problem, you know? So I just wanted to address that with you. I can follow up with you later on it. This is outside the discussion, but it was something that we started having that discussion last time we met.
And I can appreciate that, and I thank you for the feedback. I definitely would love to sit down with you and discuss up until you make your decision how we can make it better. At the end of the day, like I said, I for myself enjoy being on the South region, and Pembroke Park is one of those places. So whatever I can do to facilitate a better communication, better service, whatever the case may be. And you have one of my better captains, I should maybe say that, but you have one of my better captains that's down in Pembroke Park, and this is recorded too, so I'm stuck with it. But
you're on the record now, sir.
Yeah, so she's one of my better captains, and with that, she has been able to get a lot of things moving that I know that any other complaints or anything else that she needs to address will be addressed. So whatever we could do to, like I said, to make it a better transition, a better service for you, that's the end result. That's what our goal is to do.
Okay, we'll sit down and have that coffee and discussion. So,
all right, sounds good. Thank you so much
thank
again.
You very much for your time. We greatly appreciate your presentation today.
Likewise, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you. I should have asked, did anyone else have any other questions? No? Okay. Moving on, we're gonna do.
I have a question for us.
Okay.
Mayor. I mean, I was a little surprised that it was as high as what it was, the amount that they're presenting to us. And like Ray said at the very beginning, there's only so much that we can do as far as the expenses. You know, we're running right in a corner, and that's been the problem for a long time. So what I'm really pleased with is they had their opportunity, Vice Mayor Cohen. We gave them that, and that's what we said we would do. So nobody can say that we did not, Mr. Mayor, honestly try to work with them. But it does look a little high. I mean, so that's where I'm trying to get some feedback, because this is the place where we can kind of get into this.
So I think I voiced my feedback there, but I will reiterate again on it. We pay 100% of our ad valorem tax for police and fire. The whole point to going with our own department was to reduce the cost that we spend, which will be saving the town approximately $700,000 a year. Going forward, this is a cost of an extra $2.1 million a year, which the town does not have excess revenue to spend that 2.1 for this contract. It just does not work for the town. Unless one of the three of you can all of a sudden come up with an extra 2.1 million a year.
Vice Mayor? Okay, so I think we all agree right now, which I'm glad to see.
We can sell that 2014 Ford Taurus. That might chip away at it.
So I think that, you know, like I said, I'm very pleased. No one can say that we didn't give them an opportunity to come up with numbers. And so now we have to do our thing, as sad as it may be, as long of a relationship as we've had with them. You know, the town is going to fail. We're going to be we're in a bad position. We all know that, because it's just too much of our budget, really is. So I just wanted to make sure everybody heard that.
Okay. Go ahead, Marlon.
I just wanted to, before we get started on all the reports, we have a person that is going to be speaking on behalf of the item 12.1. I wanted to ask the commission if it would be possible to move that item up. It's FPNL LED conversion opportunity for the town of Pembroke Park.
Okay. Hold on, 12.1?
Yes.
Okay. Just in quick agreement with the other commissioners, we all agree to move this up. Thumbs up. All right, 4 thumbs up. We'll move 12.1 before we start with section 7.
Okay, good evening. I have received an email some time ago from.
Hold on 1 second. I do need to read the item before we proceed.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
12.1 is Public Services Department. FPL lead conversion opportunity for the town of Pembroke Park. Interim Public Service Director, John.
Yes, good evening.
Let me
I
open it up.
received, okay. I received an email not too long ago from Diego Febris. I don't remember his exact pronunciation. And he represents FPL. And he mentioned, and he will explain it in detail to you, that FPL has this program and they've been going to several cities and doing conversion from what we have now to LED. And so far, they mentioned Miramar, City of Hallandale, Pembroke Pines, and some other ones have already done the conversion. So he's here to talk some more and answer a question. Diego, are you on the line?
Hold on, let me unmute.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Good evening.
Okay.
Can anyone hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. So I'll be pretty brief. I'm not sure, and I apologize because I'm kind of leading this blindly. So I'm not sure exactly what slides you're looking at. I just have 3 attachments really that I sent early.
Sir, we don't have any slide in front of us at the moment.
Okay.
But we do have it in our backup for everyone to look at.
Okay. So what I'm here to talk about is the conversion of the 192 street lights you have to LED. You have 70 watts all the way up to 200 watts that we can convert to LEDs at no cost to the city. This is a conversion process that FPL started about 3 years ago. We've done it throughout the state. I'm sure I've done a lot of HOAs within your city already. There's, again, no cost for the conversion. You're going to get a brand new fixture for every pole, much more reliable fixture, safety, curbside appeal as far as homeowner associations are concerned. You really light up the streets nicely. And in some cases, it provides savings. Unfortunately for you guys, it's going to cost you a whole 37 cents more. So when you run the numbers, this is something that we can do with just a strike of the pen by signing a new streetlight agreement with FPL. And we're installing in about 3 months once the agreement is received.
Okay, what's costing us 37 cents increase?
So if you total up, I'm not sure if you're able to open up the attachment there that says the generator tool.
Yeah.
The generator tool, what it does, it gives you the breakdown of the 192 fixtures that I'm proposing to convert. So you have, for example, number 1, you have the quantity is 88. That is 88 70 watt fixtures. That's the existing. So I'm proposing option 1, which will be an ATBS fixture at 40 watts. And then you have option 2, which you have 100 watt fixtures, 51 of them. The total being what you're paying, approximately what you're paying right now, $1,651 per month for these 192 fixtures. With the brand new LED fixtures, you'll be paying 37 cents more total.
Total, okay.
Total.
And light-wise, illumination-wise, what are we looking different? Because going from the high-pressure sodiums and the traditional bulbs to the LEDs, are we looking at the same amount of looms in the process?
Correct. What I did is if you convert a high-pressure sodium or metal halide bulb, normally you're going down about 40 to 50% in wattage. which is what you see on the right-hand side as option 1, is the
Right.
equivalent. We can also step it up if that's what you wish. If there's an area you tell me, listen, these lights, we would like to see a little more, we can change and put something with a little more powerful, but it's going to eat into your savings.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, very simple. There's no out-of-pocket cost. You know, once everything is signed, we're installing in 3 months. Installation should take, I would say, no more than a week.
All right, so 37 cents extra for us a month, and we're not paying for any lights, and you're doing all the work.
Correct. And
Just
it's actually a brand new fixture. We're not replacing bulbs. We're
replacing the fixture head itself.
Correct.
Okay, let me see if anyone has any questions. Vice Mayor?
How many lights are there? How many posts?
192.
192?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. Does that have anything to do with the leaning poles? Do you make the corrections on them? We have some leaning poles in the town. Do you take care of those as well?
My crews are there to replace LEDs. I can, if it's something that they can address while they're there, and we mentioned it to them, I have provided a what we call summary component report that has the exact address and the pole number for each one of these fixtures. If you can address which ones need to be corrected, they'll look into it. Now, just from my knowledge of dealing with the FPL service centers, that there is what they call an allowable lean for a pole, and I believe it maximum is 10 degrees. So if it's within that allowable lean, they still won't correct it.
Okay.
Clerk Commissioner, any questions?
I'm a little confused with the options. Can you explain the difference between option 1 and option 2 again?
Well, there you have existing, which is the column G, if you can see that, everything going down. So for example, installation details number 1, you have 88 70 watt existing fixtures of high pressure sodium.
Okay.
Okay. That's what under existing, you see that SL1, that's street light 1, that's the current tariff you're on under FPL. HPS, high pressure sodium, 0070 is the wattage. Option 1 to the right of that is the ATBS LED fixture at 40 watts. So, and then option 2 is for 100 watt fixtures, option 3 is 150, and 4 being 200 watt fixtures. You have about 10 of those.
Okay, so the rest of them would be the same, what we have now, correct?
No.
Once we've
No.
exhausted.
I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry.
Okay, the 88, that's 88 out of the 192 that we have.
Okay.
88 of them are 70 watts.
Correct.
And those are the ones you plan on changing to LEDs.
All of them. 88, and then if you go to number 2 below that, you have 51 of 100 watt.
Oh, I see.
Below that, you have 43 of 150 watt. And number 4, you have 10 200 watt fixtures.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay.
That was it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Commissioner Clark, any questions?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I do have a question, Mayor, just real quick.
Go ahead, Jason.
For FPL. I do notice that the obviously there's no upfront cost, and we're going to be paying a monthly payment. I assume, I'm making the assumption that the actual cost of the fixtures is baked into our new monthly price. Once those are paid off, does our monthly amount come down, get reduced?
The new plan is no different than your existing plan for that matter, just because we depreciate everything over a 40-year period. So the answer is yes. but it will take a very long time. By that, it is about 40 years for them to be fully depreciated.
The reason I ask is you hear that LED is a lot cheaper than your regular sodium halide as far as energy costs. So I was just wondering where that savings was going to go to, and I guess yeah.
And it's a great question. The reason, and everybody asks the same thing, well, why isn't my bill going down 50% if I'm doing down 50% wattage? And the reason is, just like you pointed out, if you see the first item on the, under each of the fixtures, is there's a cost for that fixture. You see the energy come down. For example, on the 88, you pay $135.82 a month, and now you're going to 62. So you are cutting the energy part in half, but the fixture cost is higher because it's a more expensive fixture in the high pressure sodium. So that's the reason why.
Okay. I just thought that was important for the commission to hear.
Okay.
Thank you, JC. Any more questions? Marlon, go ahead.
I thought you were going to say Commissioner Clark.
I looked right at it, but it says Vice Mayor Clark.
We got to change it. Yeah. I'm going to take him upstairs, sir. So I just wanted to let you know. We're going to be off for a few minutes, but we'll just be headed upstairs.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your time. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
So Mayor, with your permission, if we can get that agreement onto our commission agenda, would the commission want to see that come before us so we can start?
Yes, we could move that forward to the consent agenda.
Okay.
And I'll say that again once Marlon gets back here.
Yeah, I think she's
take a moment and wait for them to run upstairs. Knowing our luck, what's going to happen is they're going to get stuck in the elevator.
Let's not even say that.
Everyone looks so serious tonight. I don't think Ray's blinked in like the last 10 minutes. There he goes. All right, we're good.
Maybe we should have somebody drive out at night just to see why we need a little more lighting.
Okay, well,
then we could have some areas are a little dark and need more a little brightness.
But once you see these new fixtures coming in, it's literally day and night.
It's a big difference. I just saw a community up north that was done. It's bright.
What's really nice about them is that these lights, you know, when you have the Cobra head, it really focuses the light down and it doesn't spill across. So there's not a lot of light pollution that comes from them. But I mean, they're really bright. They are, and they're quite good. Marlon, are you back?
Okay, you guys can't blame me for holding the meeting up this time.
Okay. heading over to Marlon's office right now. The Commissioner Clark's, I don't know if it was his iPad or his laptop wasn't cooperating.
It was the iPad, sir.
The iPad.
Get it done. 1 second.
Oh, I hear some voices.
I'm trying, sir. Okay, there you go. Okay. Sit right there, and they see you right here.
Marlon,
Yes, sir?
we're going to move 12.1 to the consent agenda.
Oh, okay, perfect. Give us just 2 seconds. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, they can go on. They can go on.
Okay, sir, go right ahead.
All right, continuing on, reports of committees and city staff. 7.1, Fire Department, Chief Kane. Chief Kane on this evening?
And commissioners. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and commissioners.
Good evening.
I presented to you, good evening. I have for you the statistics for Pembroke Park for the month of December. For the month of December, within the town, we ran 7 fire calls, 36 vehicle accidents, 7 fire alarms, 89 medical calls, and 3 service calls. Of those, 7 were suspected COVID calls, and by suspected COVID calls, they just meet the criteria for the questions and answers portion of the call taking procedures. So when they dispatch units, it could be for a cold or something medical related, but those battery of questions that are asked conform to a potential COVID patient. And that's where we come up with the suspected COVID. It does not mean that those patients tested positive for COVID, just that we're on a heightened alert that they may be a COVID patient. And the total for the town for the month of December is 142 calls for service.
And Chief, I just got a quick question. What is our
Sure.
average again? We're pretty consistent monthly, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't fluctuate more than 20 calls a month.
Okay.
So we run anywhere from about 120 calls to maybe 150 calls at the most. I don't think I've ever seen us run more than 150 calls for service in a month.
Okay. And I'm glad you put that COVID on there because that was one question I was going to ask, seeing how we had 89 calls, how many were of suspected COVID. So thank you for that information.
Yes.
You appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Does
Absolutely.
anyone have any questions for Chief Kane?
Just Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you and everybody else there on the dais. Unfortunately, too bad we can't meet in person right now, but you know, it's glad to hear your voices and be back in the swing of things again. So thank you very much. And unless there's any other questions, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Chief. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to being back in person as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Right, 7.2, Broward County Sheriff's Officer Captain Croker. I don't know if...
Mr. Mayor, this is...
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Jacobs, or Vice Mayor Cohen, Commissioners Clark and Jerville. This is Lieutenant Charles with the Broward Sheriff's Office, the Executive Officer. Captain Coker is experiencing technical issues right now, connectivity issues, and is unable to present this to you. So thank you for allowing me to present the statistics for the town of Pembroke Park during the month of December. We've had a total of 565 calls for service. 135 were non-911 calls. We had 285 911 calls, and a total of 145 self-initiated calls where the deputies initiated the call for service. We had 33 accidents, 6 of them with injuries. A total of 30 citations were issued during 30 traffic stops. We had a total of 7 arrests. Should bear with me for a second. We had no criminal activity in any of our mobile home parks. And we had a total of 6 vehicle burglaries, 1 business burglary, and 6 stolen vehicles. I believe one of the stolen vehicles and one of the business burglaries resulted in an arrest. And that's my presentation for tonight, sir.
Thank you. Let me see if there's any questions. Any questions from anyone? Commissioner Clark, questions?
None right now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your time. We greatly appreciate your update.
Thank you, sir.
Have a wonderful evening.
You too, sir. Good night.
Good night. All right. Next, item number 8, building report. 8.1, code enforcement monthly report. Chief Code Enforcement Officer Lewis, and code report for January 2021.
There we are. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Jeffrey Lewis, Chief Code Enforcement Officer for the town of Pembroke Park. I'm presenting my monthly report for the month of December. In the month of December, from our list of documents that were produced, we had 4 affidavit of compliance, 24 notice of violations issued, and 3 courtesy notice issued for the month of December. Moving down on the report, we've had a few complied cases, one of which is 3231 Southwest 56th Avenue, which was a duplex. It was written for exterior maintenance, including the walls needed to be pressure washed and painted and repaired. And the owner actually took care of that, repainted the duplex, and had the roof repaired around the mansard. The next one is 3301 Southwest 56th Avenue, which is, of course, in the duplex as well. Same thing, it needed to be pressure wash, exterior maintenance needed to be taken care of, in which they did so, including the exterior door was replaced as well, which they pulled a permit for. Along Hollandale Beach Boulevard and Southwest 56th Ave, which is the Polo Club, there was an accident a few months ago in regards to taking out the hedges and the bushes along Hollandale Beach Boulevard, and they went ahead and cleared up the area, replanted new hedges, so the area looks a lot better. Along Southwest 31st Avenue at 1812, that's still in progress, but there has been significant change at this current time. We had wrecked vehicles and outside storage of abandoned vehicles at 1812, and the property owner has been working digitally to remove the vehicles, in which they've already removed double parked vehicles that was in 4 spaces. And the last set of photos, which is great and wonderful. If anybody knows, this is Southwest 30th Avenue along the railroad corridor. Since the summer, FDOT has had a bunch of trash, debris, overgrown vegetation, couches, railroad tracks, that are no longer in use. And through code enforcement with Jocelyn and our town attorney, Melissa, they were able to reach out to FDOT and finally have that corridor cleaned up and re-graveled, and it looks a lot better from where it was before.
And Jeffrey, I just want to let you know, I don't have any photos on here. I just have the agenda request. There's no photos attached to it.
Understood. We'll make sure that that's uploaded to iCompass.
Commissioner, Mayor, I'm sorry. If you hit refresh, it should come up because I uploaded them just a little bit ago.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
Thank you. And last but not least, internally, we're still working on records retention, cleaning up the documents, and we're getting ready to remove the old documents once we have everything in place. Still working on the town assessment and also our enterprise software to get that up and running, I believe, in the summer with the rest of the staff. Is there any questions or concerns?
I don't have any commissioners have any questions, concerns? I don't see any.
Perfect. I am
Thank
on
you
the
for your
line
time, Jeffrey.
for anything. Have a great night.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Jeffrey.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, if you could just focus, and you got to keep at it, that railroad corridor, because they tend to let that go. They'll clean it up, then they let it go. They clean it up, then they let it go. So maybe you can get after them when they start letting it go. That's all, just a comment.
Right, that would be great. We do want to make sure that's kept up and clean. We do know that they, how do you say, dropped the ball in maintaining it, and we would like to make sure that it is cleaned and maintained. So yes, we'd like to have FDOT contact so we can, on a regular basis, make sure they're reminded to maintain it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're welcome.
8.2, building monthly report, building official Nunez.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Miguel Nunez. I'm the building official. We'll be presenting the report for December 2020, which is actually concludes the calendar year for 2020. And as customary, the building department and staff continue its exemplary services to our internal and external customers via the unofficial electronic plans review for obviously a non-contact approach based on the conditions that we are. Furthermore, I would like to inform that as scheduled on December 31st, 2020, the building department transitioned into a newly adopted Florida Building Code 7th edition with 2020 in this case. That's a transition every 3 years. And obviously, as expected, we receive an increased number of applications that were received in advance of the cutoff date, if you want to call it that way. In addition to that, forms, checklists, and part of our website has to be reconfigured because of the newly adopted building code. In regards to the numbers, we received an increased number of applications during the month of December compared to the month of November. During this reporting period, basically all the numbers were up. We have additional structural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing discipline for a total of 157 inspections. And we went from 52 to 87 from counter visits. We went from 17 to 35 closed permits. Now, in regards to the revenue, during this period, we are still, granted, we are talking only about the structural, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical disciplines. We collected in the avenue of $19,000, which is a little bit up from last month, but it's still a little bit low from the previous, for our normal trend in a monthly basis. But that is ready to change. In addition, you can see on your backup materials, the continuation of all the projects that we've been having in Seneca, the new Pembroke Plaza in Hampton Beach Boulevard that is in progress. We still are ready to issue the all the permits for Coca-Cola, and also we just received building 2 and 3 for Seneca, in addition to another major vendor in the Seneca area that we're still working on that. Finally, obviously we received the typical process for number of additions, renovations, alterations, and townhomes, and so on like that. But in a positive note, I would like to close that, even though everybody must know by this point in time, is about the new addition to the building department family via our own Teresa Malcolm, where she has a newborn baby girl. I just wanted to introduce that in record, that we just have a new baby girl in our building department and part of a family, of our own family. So as always, if you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
Any questions from anyone?
I have a question. Is there a way to tell which building is which with the Seneca buildings? Which one's number 1, 2, 3, 4? I believe it's 5 in total.
That is correct, sir. They're not marked as a building 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're marked basically by the address.
Okay.
We use building 1, 2, and 3 as a mark, so that way we have an identifier, not a mark. But just to let you know, so if you are familiar with that area, is the front building, the small little building on the front, that's number 4. In the front, also the one that is gonna be ready to be built is number 5. The long one and right behind it, that's building 1. And 2 and 3 is on the at the end, or they fill up the lake. So I believe it was easier to identify for building 1 through 5 instead of giving you the address. So that's why we have it that way.
Okay, thank you.
I will provide you a site plan so you're familiar with that.
Okay.
The commission, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, just a congratulations to Teresa with her daughter. And we will move on to the finance department. Thank you, Miguel. I think he froze up. There he goes. All right, number 9, finance department. 9.1, bills over $500. Interim finance director, Taubenfeld.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. What you have as part of the backup are invoices for requesting your approval. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Let me look real quick. I didn't have anything marked as any questions. Did anyone else have any questions? Bills under 500 or over 500? All right. We'll move on to 9.2, bank balances. Interim Finance Director Taubenfeld.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just informational, just to give everybody on the commission an update as to what the balances are.
All right. Any questions? No questions on 9.2. We will move to 9.3. Revenue and expenses summary as of December 2020. Interim Finance Director Taubenfeld.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor. This is what you have in front of you are the financials for the town, budget and actual for the first quarter of the fiscal year. So nothing major to report. Seems to be every department seems to be tracking according to budget at this time.
We seem to be following right along on budget.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions? No questions. We're moving on to 9.4. Credit card merchant agreement. Interim Finance Director Taubenfeld.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As part of the implementation for the new community development software, we worked out an agreement for a new credit card merchant provider. The name of the company is called Point and Pay. So what you have there is the agreement needing commission approval so that we can go ahead and get them set up once we go live with the new system.
All right. Any questions from the commission? No questions, then Marlon, let's move this to the consent agenda. And moving on, 9.5, requesting commission approval to sign lease purchase agreement with Dell Finance Services. Interim
Yes,
Finance.
this is just a, sorry, Mayor. This is just a follow up on a prior approval. Some work that IT needed to build out the new server room. We entered into, as part of the agreement, it was a 5-year agreement, interest-free agreement. So just need, again, commission approval to go ahead and forward with the agreement.
Any questions? No questions. Move this one to the consent agenda as well. Marlon? 9.6, secure signatures for new finance software. Interim Finance Director Taubenfeld.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor. So as part of the implementation of the new financial software with Tyler Technologies, we have the ability now, they are in the process of building the infrastructure, to set it up a system where we could have the secure signatures, e-signatures of the commission.
Okay.
So what you have there is a form, a general form attached. What it would require is obviously commission approval to go forward with it. And then it would also require each commissioner to sign the form so we can get this up and running. This is, again, for the new software, once we go live with the new software.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? JC?
Mayor, if I may, I just wanted to just point out that these last 3 items, these are part of the new ERP system, the new financial software that we got kicking in, that we're currently implementing right now. And this is all Harry, and he's really trying to bring the finance department into the 21st century. So you're going to start seeing a lot less paper, a lot less, I guess, manual checks. You'll start seeing things done electronically, more efficiently, and with better tracking, actually. A lot more safeguards. So I can't speak highly enough of this whole process.
You guys all know I'm about saving the trees. The less paper we use, the more money we save. Anyone have any questions for him on this one? All right, we'll move this to the consent agenda as well. Moving on, 9.7, business tax receipt and billing update, billing administrator Grooms. Michelle here this evening?
I was expecting her, but I could take over if you like. Hold, give me 1 second, Mayor.
Sure, I'm pulling it up as well.
Yeah. So what you have there here is, I guess, just a status, as I'm trying to open it, a status report of the collections for the business tax department. So I'm waiting for it to open up. Just bear with me, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, here we go. Okay, so looking at the sheet, starting from the top, what you have, the first part of the first part are all your, I guess, reimbursables. Pending column is that the amount either owed to the town or credits that customers have for work that's still needs to be done. Moving along down to the bottom of the page, you see a summary of where we are year to date for our annual billing for the current fiscal year 2021. To date, the outstanding balance still remaining to collect for the renewals is $18,105. Moving down, you'll see new businesses, new accounts have opened up an account during the current fiscal year. Year-to-date collection, if you look at the amount collected is $15,000 for that. And then keeping going down through the schedule, you see just some miscellaneous miscellaneous receivables that the town has with various vendors, what's been billed and what's been collected year to date. Again, the issues of concern that we have are the highlighted items in yellow, which are the Polo Club and Pembroke Park Church of Christ, which has been previously discussed numerous times. Any questions? I'm here. Yes.
I do have a question. The Church of Christ. Now we were dealing with our former town attorney. Have we got Melissa up to speed on this?
I believe Michelle has met with Melissa. I think Melissa's on. I'm not sure she could probably better answer that question than I can, but I believe that they have met and have reviewed the account.
Okay.
Yeah,
Town attorney, are you on here?
I am on, and I have reviewed, I am familiar with the situation. I've got the agreement, looked at it. So yes, I am familiar with the situation.
Okay. Also with the Polo Club, we worked with the owner of the Polo Club. I'm not sure where we're standing with him on this. I don't know if anyone's reached out to him on this, but
we've tried numerous, sorry to interrupt, but we have tried numerous times. We have sent invoices and reminders to the address on file with no response.
Okay.
So Michelle and I, and the ball is in my court to pick up where Michelle and finance left off, to contact, well, and also letters went out from Chris Ryan's office. And I really don't think, from what I recall, I don't have it in front of me. I wasn't prepared to discuss it, but it is on my to-do list. I am familiar with all the outstanding accounts, including the church and Polo Club. So I just have not gotten to the point where I think I'm just going to need to contact each of the companies that owe us money and find out where they are on settling up. And then we need to have discuss strategy on what we're going to do going forward. So, but I'd rather not discuss that in public at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna just ask to meet with you and discuss these items sometime in town when our paths cross before the next workshop. You and I can get together and discuss this.
Sounds good.
Anyone else have any questions? All right, we will proceed on. Human Resources Department. Item number 10. 10.1, 2020 Annual Presentations. HR Director, Menegazzo. Gazo.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Manager, I don't know if you want to give a mini introduction to the entire commission on what we asked for the annual reports before I give my own. You're muted, Mr. Manager.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, I was going to do that before you started. Basically, what I did is I asked each of our department heads to provide me and provide you a list of their accomplishments for 2020. In addition to that, I also asked them for their goals for 2021 and an overall vision of where they see their department going. What I believe this does is provide you, the commission, some insight as to where each department head is, where they stand, their mentality, what their goals are, what their vision is for their department, and see if it goes in line with what you expect of a department head. They submitted everybody submitted their reports. Later on in the agenda, I'll be calling on the different department heads to do it. When the agenda was made, Yolanda, in typical Yolanda fashion, she was first in line, and she is now here on the agenda, and she also did a PowerPoint presentation. She did a great job. So I'll turn this back over to Yolanda.
Thank you. Mark, will you be showing my PowerPoint on the screen?
I can if you want. Sure. Give me a second.
Yes. That would be great.
All right, hold on. Lily, could you email me that real quick? That way I have it.
Sure.
That would
If
be
not,
good.
I could
Yeah.
share my screen.
If you can, yeah. Let me see. I made you a presenter, so you should be able to share your screen. Okay?
I
That's
see
easy.
it. Give me a moment because I have about 10 applications open. And
It'll let you choose which one you want to share.
yes. So let me just open this up larger. No, why can't I see this?
Just make it full screen in presentation mode. You should be fine. It won't go full screen on here because of the resolution.
Well, my app disappeared. Hold on, let me stop sharing and let me try one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually closed when I tried to share it. Let me try one more time. I apologize. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you should be able to see it. Okay, great, excellent. All right, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. So, okay, I need to move this over a little bit. Okay, so as the commission is aware, when I first came into the town, we reincorporated performance evaluations to happen on a regular basis. We created job descriptions for each position. We established the compensation plan, which increased the salaries of employees that were underpaid in comparison to the market. And we also established the salary range in order to attract and retain, and also to streamline the hiring process. So we restructured and we formalized the town's organizational chart, and we cleared up the reporting structures, made sure that the employees knew exactly who they were reporting to. And we also established the commission liaison reporting to explain to employees how that relationship works. And then I also did the records cleanup project, and I revamped the HR forms for the town. Now, we are continuing to update the organizational chart and job descriptions as time goes on. So that is something that's constantly in the works. When it comes to trainings, we have had 2 trainings so far that I have performed the trainings for. The customer service and communication training was definitely a very positive training because we set the expectations for both external customers and internal customers, which are the employees, communicating with each other. And I thought that it was a really great reminder promoting a culture of respect and collaboration through positive communication. The second training that we did was the diversity and inclusion training, and we touched upon very critical subjects such as like the zero tolerance policies regarding discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, bullying, workplace violence, things of that nature. But I think that the best part of the training was that we actually celebrated inclusion by showcasing the 11 promotions that we've had in the last year. which if you think about it, 11 internal promotions in a small town like ours is a great accomplishment. And again, it's working towards having the town of Pembroke Park be an employer of choice. So we allowed not only did we recognize the newly promoted employees in the last year, but we actually allowed them to speak a little bit about their ethnical background. And we, got employees together that perhaps maybe didn't even have a relationship before, but they were able to find some common ground through that training. And then the other training that I have listed here was supposed to happen yesterday, but I will reschedule it within the next 2 weeks. And it's basically just a training to go over the new employee handbook, because my style is not just to roll out a new employee handbook. It's also to educate the staff and allow them to ask questions regarding the policies and procedures that are being rolled out. Another thing that we've done is we've had a lot of team building events. Me personally, I have scheduled a lot of different types of staff meetings. It could be staff meetings that are the entire town. It could be staff meetings that are just for specific departments. And it could be staff meetings that are multiple departments, and we're trying to bring together employees and find resolutions to employee relations issues. We also did an employee core values team building exercise, which you can see on my presentation. That's my handwriting there with all those bubbles, where I asked the employees, what do you value in order to have a pleasant working environment? And then I asked a graphic designer to build, to design a flyer where we could post that so that every morning when the employees come in, they remember what each of them asked for when they wanted to have a pleasant working environment. So that's just a reminder again to improve the working environment. And then we did the Halloween pumpkin carving contest and the holiday door decorating contest. I know that the Halloween pumpkin carving contest, we had a lot of people that were originally hesitant about the team building activity, but once it was done, I had people coming up to me telling me how excited they were for next year and all the ideas they had. So every time we get employees together, it's making a difference and it's bringing people together. And it's not just about work, it's about liking the environment that you work in and promoting communication by sometimes doing something that's not work for half an hour, and it brings people together and it improves the productivity in the town. Other accomplishments that we've had is that we've formalized when it comes to emergency management communications. So we've had town-wide meetings to establish who's essential, who's non-essential. And then we send like written communications, not only to the employees, but updating the commission as well, as far as who's responsible for what. What are the return to work policies as far as COVID is concerned. I coordinated in the efforts to disinfect the town hall and to get everybody tested. And I also worked with the town manager and the town attorney in extending the FMLA benefits and the paid leave benefits with the COVID-19 for 2021, and again, communicated those rights and those benefits to the staff. I also participated in the health insurance committee to revamp the town benefits, which of course was an excellent initiative that the committee did. And we were able to expand the benefits and also give money to the employees for all of their wellness expenses that they have. And then another accomplishment is that E-Verify compliance. 2021, every single municipality in the United States has to comply with E-Verify. And it's a system from the federal government that you have to register each new hire and you have to put in their social security number, and it basically tells you that that social security number is for that person that you hired. So that account has been set up, it's ready to go. And any new hires, I'm adding them in there so that we're compliant with the federal law. When it comes to being an employer of choice and having professional presence, I did create the town's LinkedIn page. Well, I took over an existing town LinkedIn page that had not been managed and updated in quite some time. And basically, I'm doing content creation for that on a regular basis and just showcasing our town and showcasing our employees. So please feel free to follow our LinkedIn. It's really nice. I think the last post that we did, I reposted our new town planner's LinkedIn post that she was very excited to start working for the town. So that's the type of things that we put on the LinkedIn page. I worked on a project together with finance to implement the new ADP system. So far we've implemented payroll, time and attendance, time off requests, document management and acknowledgement. And it's not on there, but I did finish the performance evaluations rollout last week. So all of the employees now have automatically twice a year alerts, and the management team has alerts that they have to do the evaluations. And if they don't get it done, they're gonna get a little reminder every single day until they get it done. And of course, we streamlined the payroll process from weekly to bi-weekly, which has allowed our payroll clerk to be more proactive within her own department and even outside of her department. And then all of the documents that were electronic from 2019 and 2020 have been saved in the electronic personnel files. I'm working now on the actual physical files. And then of course, as you're aware, we updated and implemented the new employee handbook. Another accomplishment is recruitment. So we have had all of these positions come on board. And not only am I extremely proud of filling these vacancies, which were critical for the town, but we have hired the majority of these individuals have been, actually all of these individuals have been amazing candidates, outstanding candidates with amazing credentials, but we are hiring certified professionals in their field. And I think that, you know, I want to continue to improve our hiring practices by promoting us as an employer of choice, so that hopefully people are lining up around the block to work for the town of Pembroke Park. And so far, everyone that I've spoken to is very, very happy to be employed by the town. As far as future milestones, I think that my biggest initiative that I'd like for 2021 is to look at employee training and development, individual employee training and development, where we're investing in our staff to, again, either keep their credentials or become certified and credentialed within their field. I'd like to continue to do team building activities because I think that they have been critical in bringing people together that were not collaborating before, and now they are. And that was one of the issues with the culture that we had when I first started with you all. And then the other initiatives are to start configuring the ADP recruitment and onboarding module. So I have to start configuring that now that I finished the rollout for the performance evaluations. I have to finish scanning all the personnel files, the physical ones, for the active employees, because that's one of the things that the auditors asked the finance director for. So I only have one box left, so I'm almost done. And then I'd like to continue participating in the police department implementation, not only as far as like policies and procedures are concerned, but when it comes to recruitment, we have to make sure that we are recruiting police officers and supervisors that are very in tune with the 21st century policing in order to address the needs of society. So I'm very excited to participate in that. So I guess that's it. Those are my main initiatives and projects for 2021.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
Not questions, but she's been doing a great job. I mean, you walked through town hall and you could see staff is a lot happier now. So great job, you know, with all the positive implementations and bringing staff together with all the team building projects.
Vice Mayor?
I just have a question. What was, didn't at the last workshop, there was, we mentioned, or you mentioned, the assessment from the last workshop. For Public Works, wasn't it? Or was that for all the departments? HR?
Well, the presentation that I just gave, every single department head will be providing a similar presentation for the manager and for the commission. But I know that in the previous workshop, I think you're mentioning that the commission had asked basically that the manager had told the commission that he would look into the operations of the Public Works Department. Is that what you're referring to?
I guess, yeah.
And by the way, I on item 15.2, that's when all the other department heads are going to be presenting, probably not on a PowerPoint, I'm assuming, but they'll be presenting their reports to you.
Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Clark, do you have anything? You're muted. Shake your head, yes or no?
Hold on.
Yeah, he'll talk now.
Yeah, again, I think this is very refreshing. We're bringing a lot of new stuff in, but you got to remember everybody is new at this. So, you know, I like it. And you got to give credit to everybody, commissioners, mayor, vice mayor. Very nice. We're going in the right direction. Like they said, things hadn't been done for a long time. That's it for me.
All right. Yolanda, I got a couple things for you. One, when we first met, I told you this was going to be the toughest job you've ever had. And there was a lot of work to be done here. And I am more than impressed by what you and your company have done since you've been here on getting this town back on track through our HR department, training, everything from helping me with the clerk's office, you name it, you have gone above and beyond. And the town of Pembroke Park is very grateful for all that you've done for this town. It shows when you walk around this place, and you can actually walk through the place in certain areas. I do have a couple questions for you. On ADP, I've read through the employee handbook so many times that it puts me to sleep now. The requirement in ADP, there's a requirement for a signature on reviewing the handbook after you go all the way through it. Is that going to be for all staff? So all staff signs that they have attended training and reviewed this?
Yes, so that acknowledgement form was already sent out to all the staff. I have not, so I've received mostly everyone's signature that they have received the new handbook and they've acknowledged the receipt of it. I have not enforced yet, I apologize. I have not enforced yet the signatures from everybody because I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions in an open forum, which was going to be like the training that was supposed to happen yesterday. So once that training happens and everyone has had an opportunity to not only hear from me what the highlights of the training are, but also to answer questions, then I will ask for everyone's acknowledgement, because I truly believe that, you know, this should be an education process and everyone should feel comfortable signing that.
Exactly. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we do that. And then, you know, maybe have staff sign that they attended the training on it. So we have record of that as well. In the future, when we hire staff, I know I talked to you about this. I just want to make sure, since we're such a small town and we don't have a large staff population here, that we send out a little intro email about every new member that comes on to the rest of staff and the commission. You know, just a little, hey, we have this guy, here he is, you know, this is what his position is, you know, something a little about him. So we all are aware of the new guy coming on, or gal.
Absolutely.
And that is all I have for you. Anyone else have anything? JC? Nope. Vice Mayor?
No, I do want to say, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor. I just do want to comment and thank Yolanda for doing an amazing job. She is just a member of our team and a valued member of our team, and she's just outstanding. And I appreciate everything she does for us, and we're certainly moving in the right direction.
And I also would like to comment on that as well. Amazing job that she's been doing. And thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your feedback.
All right. 10.2, discussion of interim police chief, salary and start date, Mayor Jacobs and HR Director Meningazzo. I'm gonna get that right one day. I know I am. Would you like to start? I have a couple things to add in here too, or questions for you as well.
No, you can start, and then I'll answer any of your questions.
Okay. In here, we have whereas in the resolution, it says, whereas on December 9th, 2020, the commission voted to hire David Howard as the interim police chief, contingent upon Mr. Howard's having obtained the necessary certifications, contingent upon Mr. Howard passing his background check, and contingent upon the formation of the town's police department. The background check and the certifications, are they all in place?
Yes, everything's been completed and everything came out perfect.
Okay. And then can you speak a little about his record that was emailed out to everybody so they can, I know if you guys downloaded the link and looked through it, it's a mass of records to go through. So if you could give us a little highlights on this, Yolanda, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. So what I did was I ran the comprehensive background report that I normally do for all of our senior level staff. Like, for example, our town manager went through that comprehensive background report, our town attorney. So I ran that, and that was perfect. There was nothing at all on that record, which I pretty much was assuming was going to be nice and clean, because you need that to be clean in order to be a law enforcement professional. And then what I did was I asked for his entire personnel file, which, 27 years in the same department, that file can be pretty big. Plus I asked for the entire IA file. So whenever you're hiring a police officer, if they've worked for another municipality, FDLE comes in and they make sure that that individual meets all of their credentials, and they make sure that that person went through a thorough background check. So I feel very confident that when FDLE does come, if David Howard is chosen for the position, that we did our due diligence in doing a very thorough background check. He has a few uses of force on his file. I believe there's 19 or 20 to be exact. However, when you think about the hundreds of interactions that police officers have on an annual basis with individuals that they come into contact with, he has about less than one use of force a year. And a use of force means that you unfortunately had to put your hands on someone. So, I thought that that was pretty good. And then another thing that I found in his file, I have never seen a police record with so many commendations in it. It was hundreds of pages of commendations, which is definitely a good sign of his, let's say his vision towards community policing. So I did like that a lot. The amount of commendations that were from both like external and internal. So people within the department commending him, as well as, business owners or residents that he came into contact with. So that's, I would say, a summary of the couple thousand pages that I sent you.
Does anyone have any questions about David Howard?
I think it sounds wonderful.
Commissioner Clark?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
I asked Dave Howard to meet with me, and he did. And it was a wonderful experience. I walked away feeling the same way, that he was open. He didn't hide from anything. If he didn't have it, then he would say it. And if he needed to get information, he assured me that he would get it. He said that he will be fair. I really like him. I think that we're on to the right move with him. Now, one problem that he brought up was that because he's not the chief, it is preventing him from opening certain doors where he could get more information and interaction. So I am with him 100%, and I support him. And I think we need to give him the credentials where he could go out there and he could open up those doors and get the information that we need to have our own professional police department. And I have a lot of confidence in him.
Vice Mayor, go ahead.
Yes, and I agree. I also met with him. So I was the first one to meet with him, and I feel the same.
Clerk Commissioner?
Well, we'll go with the commissioners, yeah.
No, give it to Alexa. I also got to speak to Mr. Howard, and I have to say he is, knowledgeable, and he is a respectful young man. We talked, it was brief, but I can tell he know what he was talking about. And, he wasn't trying to pressure me or anything like that. He was just telling me like it is. So in retrospect, I'm still against hiring him because I would prefer he go to the proper steps. But if it seems that's what the commissioners want, so that's where we stand.
Yeah, and Mr. Gear again.
Go ahead, Commissioner Clark.
The one big obstacle, Commissioner DeVille, the one big obstacle that I heard from him was that he needs this in order to be able to go out there and be the chief. Then he can open up all those doors out there and get information and start putting this together. Because we gave, with all due respect, we gave BSO an opportunity. And so nobody could say that we didn't wait and we didn't listen and we didn't observe. But there's going to come a point that we have to make a choice, and then we have to go with that choice that we selected and be successful. He's got his hands full, and I think so does the commission. And but I think that we're making the right choice in supporting him and giving him as many tools as he needs to go out there and get this job done. So it was worth sitting down with them. And again, I think we're on the right move, that we need to build our own or create our own police department and move forward with it.
Okay, I got a couple things that I'd like to add in here as well. I met David Howard when I was training on an aircraft. We have similar backgrounds, and I told him what I was trying to do in Pembroke Park with the new police department. I have a very professional relationship with him, no different than I have with JC, or I have with Yolanda, or I have with Marlon, or any of the town staff. Building a police department is quite a bit different than running a department. It takes a very special person to help get this together. And I could not do this on my own with the amount of time it takes to build a department without having him here. And we brought him in as that contractor to establish the police department, to help build up the police department. We have a timeline of June 1st of our launch date. My goal is still to make June 1st. So understand, we have a great deal of amount of work ahead of us to get this done, and we have to move forward quickly. When it comes to him having the title of chief, it is critical, and it does open those doors for the resources, as he is the police, well, he's the interim police chief. Understand, in this resolution, we have him listed as the interim for 1 year. Just like any police officer position, when you come on as a new hire, you have a year of probation. That's in any agency out there. So he is going to be the interim police chief for a year. And then at that point, after the year, we can decide if he's proven himself or we're going to go out and hire a different police chief. That's the benefit of this. But the relationship him and I have built over the last few months of putting this department together is critical for this to continue. And I just wanted to make that very clear. Our relationship is a very professional one. And we work very diligently together on this. We've met with town staff many, many times. You know, we're on the phone together to go over ideas, uniforms, you know, designs, the community policing platform that we were using to build this department on, and based on the demographics of our community. So there is a lot to this. It's not just something that can be thrown together and, you know, put out the door like any other business, because it is a type of business, but it's law enforcement. So I do have a question, and this would be for Melissa. Attorney Melissa? Is she on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we voted on November 9th to hire him, contingent upon him meeting the necessary certifications and stuff that's here in the resolution. I'm reading through the resolution as we speak, and then adopted and passed it on the 13th, contingent upon the presentation tonight from BSO. So how do we need to proceed from this? Because now, you know, this is dated for January 13th for the resolution.
I think that should actually be dated for
February?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So
So we
Did
just
that
need to
answer your
pass the resolution here for his pay. That's correct?
Right, well, recall this is not a voting meeting, so you
Right.
can't really vote on it, but you will discuss it and then you can put it on the agenda for February
Okay.
to vote on.
All right, then we'll move this to the consent agenda. Marlon, is there any more questions?
The one thing I will say, I'm going to be bringing up, I guess we'll have to update our timeline for implementation. I want to make sure we're all sitting, you know, singing off the same sheet of music, because I don't know what that timeline. June 1st keeps getting thrown around, but we don't have our police department built out yet. And heck, we don't even have the building department even started yet. So we can't move people over. There's still a lot of moving pieces.
I completely understand. And we've had a 3-month delay because of BSO, one thing or another. We've delayed the timeline by 3 months. I don't want to move this timeline out.
Well, I'm not going to say we're going to move. And yes, BSO gave us their proposal right now.
We need to review it.
But the building department has not even under construction yet, is my point. And that had nothing to do with BSO.
And that has a lot to do with my point about this town, that we have great ideas with zero follow through. So I'm going to push for as soon as we can get it done, just so you know. And I'm more than welcome to have that meeting to go over the timeline. But I'm going to stay on top of this till it happens. It's necessary for our town to survive.
Mr. Mayor, my point was we need to have a frank and discussion about that to set expectations at the next meeting. That was my only point, because and speaking with David Howard as well, he will be able to give us, you know, as far as what he believes is going to be a reasonable timeline.
I understand. All
So,
right.
Mr. Mayor, I had another question, not a question, an observation. Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Make sure that everything he needs is in this resolution, where he has to open up doors and get resources and communicate with other agencies and people. Just try to make it as all encompassing as possible, you know, so he can get his job done.
So, JC, here's my question for you. For the next meeting, we should probably have the police budget that we've discussed already and have it for approval, I guess, and discussion. we can discuss it, but we need to approve that so we can actually start making the purchases of the.
We'll bring the budget back and have that. There's still a few items that are still pending, and one of them relies on, so as far as the dispatch and computer-aided dispatch, all that.
Understand.
The other thing is at the meeting will be just the budget, but there still needs to be procurement of all of the equipment and all of the items. Hopefully, a lot of them have state contracts behind them, which a lot of this equipment does. So that has to be done as well.
Understand. So we'll have that discussion. We'll make sure the resolution's complete for the meeting.
And Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
the word is all inclusive, not all encompassing. Okay, so just wanted to correct that word. But Melissa will know what I'm saying. And so will David and you and everybody else. I think we should start in that direction. That's what we're doing here tonight.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Anything else? All right, let's move forward. Item number 11, Planning Department. 11.1, fee schedule. Town Planner, Siegel.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to present to you tonight. As part of our transition to in-house staff, we need to do some cleanup. Currently, when someone comes in with a development board application, they pay a deposit and it's a pass-through cost to our outside consultants. We need to establish board fees in order to start taking applications in. So at the next meeting, we will be bringing you 2 companion items. One is a resolution which fixes the language inside the code, and the other, one is an ordinance that fixes the language inside the code, and the other would be a resolution establishing the fees. I've been working with the town attorney and finance on this information. We are comparing fees with surrounding communities, as well as looking at what previous applicants have paid here to our consultants to make sure that we're somewhat in the same range. And the ordinance will also make allowances to allow us to use outside consultants when needed, such as traffic reviewers, as well as the hearing examiner. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I do have one question for you.
Yes.
You want this to move to the workshop, the next workshop then, so we can review everything before the meeting?
I will defer to you. We just don't want to delay it too much because if an application comes in, we don't have fees established to take them in.
This is the town attorney. I would recommend not delaying it to the next workshop. I think you want to get these fees taken care of. And what we can do is Heidi, the town planner, can distribute it prior to the meeting so everybody can look at it and maybe, but I think as it's been communicated to me, and I agree, it's important, I think, to get it done.
Okay, if there's no discussion on this one, let's forward this to the next meeting as a single line item. Marlon? Would that work for you, Heidi?
Yes, that works great for me. And you can see in the backup today is, I'm sorry, in the backup today is the comparisons.
Okay. I'm reading through it again. All right, Marlon, we're gonna move 11.1 as a line item for the next meeting.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anything else, Heidi?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? No?
Yeah, well, we didn't formally introduce our new planner.
All right, well, welcome to Pembroke Park. This is Heidi Siegel, our new town planner.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Yay!
It's been a busy week.
Thank you. We got a lot of work for you ahead. So
looking forward to it. Thank you.
I think we're all looking forward to working with you as well.
And I will be meeting with you soon. We did meet today for a short time.
You're
not going nowhere, so we'll have plenty of time.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
You're
all
welcome.
Right. We'll move on to the next item, which is also publics, oh, okay, wait a second. We did 12.1, correct?
Yeah, 12.2 is where you're at now, Mayor.
12, Public Services Department. We're going back to 12.2. Outcome of MPO land appraisal report with County Line and 52nd and 56th Avenues, sidewalks, drainage projects. Commissioner Clark, Interim Service Director Jock, and Project Manager Woodbury.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. As you know, we don't own some of the land and we don't have a right-of-way on County Line Road from 52nd Avenue to 56, which is the subject. And so therefore, you authorize for public service to go out and get the numbers on it. And those are the numbers in the report. And then it can be turned over to Miriam and she could talk about it. And what I want to say is that this is vital because we don't have the right of way to construct the sidewalk and the drainage. It's going to cost money, but somewhere along the line, we've got to do it in order to be able to do the project. So I just wanted to open it up with that, then Miriam and her staff can talk about the rest. And then I'll bring it back up when it's time to make a decision what we want to do. I'm saying go forward with it.
Okay, we went forward and hired an appraiser to do the appraisal for the land, and it came back. 52nd came 57,000, and 56 was 43,000, or vice versa. And it's up to the commission which way they're gonna go. Commissioner Clark, it's up to you to present to the commission how you're gonna proceed to acquire the land.
Well, the only way we can proceed is we have to start the process out with the attorney. Well, the commission has to approve it first. And I'm just sitting around and I was going to ask Harry, Harry, do we have any funds available in the drainage fund? Or do we have any funds in the budget for this type of purchase?
How much is the purchase, Commissioner?
Based on that, Harry, based on the appraisal for both easements, it's about 100,000.
So the stormwater budget does have a contingency in there. Does operate in a surplus year over year, and there historically there has been a slight surplus in the sewer budget every year as well. So I'd like to say that there's money available.
I would make a recommendation, Commissioner Clark, with your permission. I would make a recommendation that now that we have this number, we have a baseline, we have more or less an idea of what it's going to cost us. It's still up to the property owner to accept that. We're going to have to go and negotiate with the property owner who knows what they're going to say, what they're going to do. If they're going to be like, no, that number is ridiculous. No, you need that land. I don't need to sell it. And you don't know how those negotiations are going to go. So I would suggest, Mayor, somebody, or you appoint somebody to go and negotiate with the property owner. If you want that to be me, great, I'll do it. Myself, along with Commissioner Clark, whomever, to go and meet with these property owners so we can at least get the ball rolling. That should be the next step. And then I can bring it back and
JC, I believe this would be more appropriate with you and Melissa to do this. Because she's the legal for the town, and
I really wouldn't want to be involved in that where we're negotiating money. I'd rather stay out of that. But I was able to go out there and we started the process. So this would be to vote to go forward with it, whatever that entails. JC and the attorney going over there and discussing it. If you need me for something, I would be there to help, of course. But again, I really don't want to be part of negotiations.
Perfect. That's fine. Understandable. Mike Miller did inform me that we should be receiving a site plan application for I guess the corner of Southwest 56th Avenue, I guess for a gas station on that corner. And he says, and if that's the case, we could get that, at least one of the stretches there for free.
Yeah, that would make a difference. And further, that we have all the lobbyists, see if there's any other funds out there to possibly acquire this right of way. Because without the right of way, you're not going to build sidewalks. Without sidewalks, you're doing a disservice to the kids and the families that live along County Line Road. We've been working on this a long time. We need to get it done, and we'll get it done. I think the first motion would be to go forward with it, and
So,
start.
This is the town attorney. I think you want to, I guess I'm wondering how far you want to go in terms of authorizing the town to pursue this. You definitely want to authorize negotiations as a first step. And then eventually, if negotiations don't work, you're potentially looking at eminent domain. That's a big step. So I think that may be a vote you want to have separately after you've approached the property owner, because that's obviously a big step. You're filing something in circuit court and so on and so forth.
And so if you could prepare that document for the meeting, and between now and then, we can sit and you can sit with everybody and get their input. It might be a really good idea that we have Michael Miller involved in this in the beginning of it. I think he's the one right now for that. So, we can put together a team and you can go do it. JC, I have confidence in you and the attorney and Miller, and get it going. And, we'll bring it back. You'll bring it back to the commission all the time and let them do the final, and the attorney will know when that is, Melissa. So if we could what I'm recommending is we just start the ball forward. And between now and next week, Melissa can determine how far she wants to go after meeting with JC, myself, and Miller, everybody together. So that's what I'm saying. That's the direction I think we should go.
I don't think anything hurts with the phone call. See where it goes. So then let's put this forward as a consent item to put the manager and the town attorney to go forward to try to start negotiations or figure out which direction we should go on this project.
Yeah, and Miller. And Miller will be as important for the one project. Miller's important in this.
Miller or the town planner, or both?
Well, Miller is familiar with it. I would have Heidi do it in a heartbeat. But right now, she can be there. I'd have no problems as long as we get the job done. I really don't care who goes. This is for the children and the families, and just put it together. I just don't want to be involved in any type of negotiations with anybody. And so I think we can put it together. There's not a problem. I think the mayor was making a good suggestion. So you want to continue that, Mr. Mayor?
I think it's best to just throw this on consent and get the ball rolling just to find out where we are.
Yep. Very good.
Any other comments, Vice Mayor? Clerk Commissioner? No? Okay. Then we will do that, Marlon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on, number 13, Town Attorney. 13.1, Muse Salters Agreement with Release Agreement, Town Attorney Anderson.
So the settlement agreement you have attached is just a draft settlement agreement that our litigation counsel and opposing counsel and I were working on. By the time this comes to the voting meeting, I'll have a final settlement agreement attached. you know, the background of this is that the former town manager sued the town, and the town already outright owes Ms. Salter, just on the terms of her agreement, about $35,000. This would settle the matter for about $75,000. The employment termination would change from cause to no cause. I am recommending the settlement. I think it's a good resolution to the case, allowing the town to move on. It also is inclusive of her attorney's fees. So that is my recommendation.
Okay. You know, we've had our discussions over this, and you know my feeling. We dismissed her with cause for a reason, you know, for not being here and not fulfilling her responsibilities. Going forward, I want to make sure we have better contracts written, and I know you are very, very good at this. So I just want to make sure we don't end up in this position again. I'm in support of your settlement agreement here to get it done and over with. I hate the fact that we are changing it from without cause or with cause to without cause, but I understand your reasoning for it, and understand JC's point on it, and I get it. So does anyone else have any questions on this, Vice Mayor?
I support it as well. Let's move it on.
Okay, Clerk Commissioner?
I agree with the Vice Mayor.
And Commissioner Clark?
Yeah, I agree with the commission.
Okay, let's move this to the consent. Oh, wait, we got to review it. So let's make this a line item, Marlon.
Yes, sir.
And I look forward to your update on this, Town Attorney.
Thank you.
Second item for you, 13.2, Second Amendment to the reinstatement of the Transportation System Surtax Interlocal Agreement, ILA, Town Attorney Anderson.
This is an agreement with Broward County for tax money, surtax money from that the county receives and then passes down to the town. And it just outlines the conditions of how the town applies for that money, under what conditions it can receive the money. So we need to execute it so we can be eligible for these funds.
Okay. Let's see here.
Sorry.
I don't have any questions on this item. Let's start with Vice Mayor.
What was that?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
No.
I had a comment I needed to make on that issue.
Okay, go ahead.
I was on mute and now, okay. So we are getting ready to enter into, in a few months, phase 2. So we're going to be going through a whole nother cycle of surtax projects. So we're going to need, I guess we'll have it on the agenda for next month, the workshop. Put that down, Marlon, because we need to have a plan, what you want to see as the projects. You know, things like, we know that it would be on 30th Avenue, the mast arms over here, the projects that have not been, that's not in the system right now, we need to start, and this is going to be the appropriate time to put them in the system. So that'll be coming forward, and I have to thank the county and everybody that's trying to work with all the municipalities to get these projects done. So I'd just like to say that so it'll be coming forward, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners.
And, you know, I don't know if this is really the right item or time to bring this forward, but so in the past, there was plans in place for a flyover on County Line Road, no exits, but a flyover that went into Hollandale Beach. And the Hollandale Beach Commission shot it down due to the fact they didn't want the traffic congestion in Hollandale Beach. unfortunately, the traffic congestion has still come. And Hollandale Beach, if you haven't gone past the 95 in a while, is backed up, along with Pembroke Park and all the roads heading to the other side of the freeway. You know, this might be something that we try to meet with Hollandale Beach and see if we can open that door back up and put that, you know, as a project going forward or something, you know, try and get that door back open, because that would reduce traffic going through the traffic backups around here.
Mr. Mayor, I just brought that up to them. And that is going to be back on the table. It is on the table. And so that'll be coming in front of the commission. This is one of the things that we're going to do, that I just reminded them, we've got to do something, got to do something. And so they're looking into it. And we'll get something done. But that has been raised. Because you know, and I know, the traffic is horrific. We've got to do something about it. Not just Pembroke Park, but Hallandale Beach also. And so that's on the table as one of the projects. And we have to coordinate where we could take surtax money, if any, and apply it so that all the players are happy in this. And so that will all be coming forward.
It's one of those, we need to open that door back up with Hollandale Beach and get them.
I do want to add that it's just not Hallandale Beach. It would have to be West Park as well. I believe they own at least the roadway on County Line Road.
And that's fine. You know, the more municipalities, the better. So let's get everyone involved.
Are we talking I-95?
Yeah, what it is was it was a flyover that went from County Line Road directly across I-95. So there's no exits on the freeway. But if you've been on Ives Dairy during any time of day, I mean, it doesn't matter, morning, noon, or night with Ives Dairy, Hollandale Beach is backed up from morning to evening. Pembroke is backed up just like Hollandale Beach is. The three pass back and forth from east to west. So if we could get County Line Road back with Hollandale Beach, because Hollandale is the ones who shot that down for that flyover. So, you know, they didn't want the traffic going through their town, but unfortunately what it's done is it's backed up the traffic going through their town and bottlenecked everything. So, you know, if it involves West Park, we get them. Listen, I have extended the olive branch out to the commissioners and mayor in West Park, and I'm still trying to have that discussion with them. So that door is open, and you know, when it comes time, let's sit down with them. You know, or all we can do is try. That's what I'm saying. All we can do is try. But I think if we could get that flyover back there, that would help with our traffic congestion around this town. So just a thought, wanted to throw it out there. So, you know, this is the time for discussion.
I agree.
I agree too. And so here's another thing. We know it's going to be Dade County. Because down on County Line Road, the other side, not West Park, even though West Park's traffic comes through.
Listen, Howard, Commissioner Clark, this involves Miami-Dade. This involves Broward. This involves Hollandale. So you sit on the MPO, and this is one of those great items for discussion. Because anyone who's exited Hollandale or Ives Dairy during any time of day, you're sitting there 20, 30 minutes just trying to go down to Dixie Highway or, you know, Federal Highway on either side. The traffic's just horrible. So this is one way to kind of help that traffic pattern and get it moving again. So
I'm with you. I got the directive.
Do your thing, Commissioner Clark.
Yep. We'll do it tomorrow morning.
All right. Any other discussion on this? And Melissa, would you like this to be a line item? Or I'm sorry, this is a forward to the workshop, right?
So back here, I say that the next item is
forward meeting.
I'm not sure. Right now, we're going.
Attorney Anderson.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. It's going to the February voting meeting.
Okay, you want to put it on the consent, or you want a line item on it?
It's consent. It can be consent.
Okay, Marlon, we'll put this one on the consent. Moving on to 13.3.
Yeah.
The 501c3. Hold on. Let me read the title.
Okay.
13.3, 501c3, Pembroke Park Cares. Commissioner Clark, Town Attorney Anderson.
I wanted to remove this, and Marlon was trying to tell me about it, but I didn't see it. And so that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to remove this to another time.
Okay, so you want to move this to the next workshop then?
Yeah, or until Melissa's comfortable with this and we bring it forward, or she does, we'll just keep it off right now.
Okay, then we'll hold off and remove this till such time Commissioner Clark brings it back forward.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
14, Town Clerk, 14.1.
No, I added an item on mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I changed my note page here. And you do have a 13.4.
So
I'm not sure of the title, so I'll let you read it.
So it's, I want to give you an update on the progressive litigation, the progressive waste case, and also let you know that we need to hire a traffic engineer and an engineer in order to get the case settled. Good news is, as you know, Progressive was scheduled for trial sort of unexpectedly, and it was supposed to go to trial early March. The good news is our litigation counsel today got the judge to waive that trial order. So we're no longer under the immediate need to get a lot of things done in a hurry, but I do want to get this case settled. And so regardless of whether we go to trial, we need to hire a traffic engineer for a lot of reasons. I don't want to discuss it on the record because it's public, and a civil engineer. And so I'm going to prepare an item for the next voting meeting in order to move forward with that.
Okay. Then we will move 13.4 progressive waste as a line item for the next commission meeting. Any other questions, guys? I see fingers.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the other, I just want to make an observation. There's also odor involved in it. And I know, so it's not just traffic, civil engineer, but it's also odor. So I think, you know, Vice Mayor Cohen can comment on that.
I think it's gotten better, Howard. I'm sorry, but I don't smell
Yeah,
the
let's
odor anymore.
keep the discussion on the ongoing litigation to a minimum. Just thank you, Commissioner Clark. We are going to resolve all outstanding items when we settle it.
Sounds good. All right, moving on. No, item number 14, Town Clerk. 14.1, Public Records Request Policy. Town Clerk Marlon Mertel.
Good evening, everyone. The reason why we have this on the commission is because, as I've mentioned to you in the past, I'd like to continue moving our town forward by establishing policies that have not been created in the past. And the public records request policy is the one that is before you, which although under Florida State Statute 119, it does already state about how to go ahead and charge for public records requests and that type of information. But I wanted to make it clear to all of you that when a public record request is submitted through the department, it a lot of times takes a lot of other departments to work on them to be able to provide them. And we really do need to start charging. Mark's time is one of the ones that has been, you know, he's been invaluable because, you know, helping me to get some of this stuff out, but it's so many hours of his time that is dedicated to pulling some of this information. And I really think it's the town is the one that's lacking, that's falling behind because we're not, you know, getting that money generated back into the town. So I'd like to just make you aware of. I'd like you to read the policy when you get a chance, please. It isn't completed. I'm still working on it, but the point was to get the conversation going and bring it forth at the next commission meeting for a vote.
Okay, and are you going to have a resolution put together for this one for the next meeting?
I will talk to Melissa if she's able to, and if not, then we'll just move it, to the next month.
Okay, if you can't, if you guys don't have one by the next meeting, put it on the next workshop.
Okay.
If not, list it as a line item for our next meeting.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Everyone okay with that? All right. Moving on, town manager, 15.1, newsletter printing, mailing, town manager, JC Nunez.
Yes, before you, in the backup, we provided 4 quotes from printing and mailing companies. We obviously want to go with the lowest price, but there is a question as far as the amount of mailing addresses that we don't know exactly, and we're trying to nail that down. So what we're gonna ask for is a not to exceed $5,000, so we can print and mail the newsletters out.
And my next question, is it going to be in the budget? Is it budgeted?
We do have money in the budget for this.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
That was my question.
I jumped on it before you.
We do have money.
Oh, that's funny.
JC, we have 10,000 budgeted in that, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Commissioner Clark, do you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it in the budget?
See, we're all on the same page here.
Let me check if it's in the budget.
This is fine. This is finance. It is in the budget.
We're going into uncharted grounds here, so. But I think we got a good team in place. So which one are you recommending out of these?
The lowest one is Sav Quick Printing. So that's the one that we're gonna go with, and if it's all right with you, we'll put it onto the commission meeting for Sav Quick Printing. But we're gonna ask for a not to exceed of 5,000.
Okay, and I have I've helped out with these addresses, and between Joy, Marlon, everyone else here in this town, we're gonna nail those addresses down so we have a good list. Oh, and your assistant as well, she's helping on it and getting everything in Everbridge. So all those addresses, at some point we're gonna have a spreadsheet, Everbridge caught up. Everyone's diligently working on it. We'll get it done. So that this is our first newsletter since 2016. I believe that's what you said, right, JC?
Yeah, it hasn't gone out since 2016 or 17. So this will be, I think, a welcome change for our residents and business owners.
So with everyone's, we'll put this on the consent agenda using Sav Quick Printing.
Correct.
All right. 15.2, 2020 annual department presentation. Town Town Manager JC Nunez.
Well, this is where I'm going to be, putting the department heads in the spotlight. They're going to be presenting the reports that they submitted to me and that were forwarded to you guys. So I'll go ahead and start off. I'll call. We'll start off with Harry.
Thank you, JC. Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Just not to take up too much of everyone's time, just want to give a brief overview of Finance Department, what it consists of, and some of our accomplishments this past year, and what our goals are for the upcoming year. So just to reiterate, if everybody doesn't know, the Finance Department consists of accounts payable, purchasing, accounts receivable, and this past fiscal year, we also assumed the business tax department as well. To highlight some of the major accomplishments for the past year, we finalized 2 audits. We completed the 2018 audit as well as the 2019 audit. Big note there was that we had our audit findings reduced from 13 to 7, which I felt was a major accomplishment. Our 2020 audit is currently ongoing, and we are targeted for a on-time completion date of March 31st of 2020, with the goal of 0 findings. Some of the other accomplishments with the assistance of Human Resource, We converted the payroll system from a weekly to a biweekly. We also completed and collected the FEMA reimbursement for Hurricane Dorian. We managed the COVID-19 financial reimbursement for the CARES Act. A lot of work went into that, so I just want to shout out to Accounts Payable for assisting me on that. We also assisted the building department with conforming to the reporting requirements as what required to the Florida Building Code. So those are some of the minor and major highlights of the finance department for the past fiscal year. And then some of the things that we're looking into this current year. As JC mentioned earlier, we're trying to take the finance department, move the finance department to the 21st century. We are in full swing with Tyler Technologies, which will be our financial software going forward. We are on target for a October 1, 2021 go live date for that. In addition to that, working together with all the departments with the community development software, which is Dude Solutions, two pieces associated to that, which is the SmartCo piece, which is focusing mostly on the building code and BTR, and Asset Elements, which is the work order system. That implementation started this week. We had a great kickoff meeting yesterday. And I think the commission will be greatly surprised by what it can do. And it's really going to help us be able to manage our infrastructure going forward. As I mentioned also before, the 2020 audit's on time. We're looking for a March 31st date. Reminder to everybody who's here, if you haven't turned in your forms, please turn the forms into the auditors that will hold up the audit. Also working as part of a member of the committee of the police department. Also, lastly, two other last things, procurement, as chief procurement officer of the town, some of the projects that we have, we're working on, the public works is working on, and some stuff that's planned to come up in the next 6 to 9 months. And then lastly, on the request of Commissioner DeVille, IT and finance started vetting and reviewing a transparency portal, which will coincide with the financial software. And again, that will go live probably in the first quarter of the next fiscal year. The goal is to get Tyler Technologies up and then tie in the transparency portal after that. Lastly, I just want to actually one thing, as part of my hiring process, it was recommended that I go out and get certification as a certified public finance officer through the GFOA. The schedules for 2021 have not been released, but I just want to inform the commission that once the schedule comes out, I will be coming back to you and letting you know. I'd like to begin the certification process for that. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you to the commission as well as the town manager for the confidence in me, and look forward to working with everybody and moving the town forward. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them for you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor, I saw your hand up. I didn't know if you want to say anything.
No, I just wanted to say good job, Harry. You've been doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Harry. And next would be Miriam, Public Works.
Good evening, everyone. Public Works takes pride in delivering essential services to approximately 6,700 town residents and visitors. And I'm going to go briefly into what the Public Works does. And that's so Public Works team provide excellent municipal services through teamwork, professionalism, and hard work. The staff ensures the town main infrastructure is maintained and upgraded as necessary. The department is responsible for the maintenance and beautification of town facilities, upkeep of streets and sidewalk, efficient sanitation and recycling of sewer and stormwater services, engineering and project management of capital improvement and special projects. The town is also responsible for parks and recreation, which provide safe and high quality, low cost recreational opportunities and activities to all family members in the community. A few of the accomplishments that were realized in year 2020 is it wasn't a service per se, but we've been holding staff meeting weekly. This is ongoing, and we also have monthly staff meeting for the co-leaders and monthly meeting for the whole department. And we discuss projects and upcoming projects. Also, in waiting for DUD solution to go into implementation, we have internal work order request system that we using for anytime somebody from the from town needs to have any work done specifically for the moving that's going right now for in readiness for the new construction going on. I have to remind that the AC was repaired and we haven't had any shut down ever since then. So that was something that was done properly. We replaced or renewed a lot of expired service contracts, such as the AC, the elevator, janitorial, and the security services. We discovered that the park was using its own security service and that we were paying for something that we didn't really need. So that was a good saving that we did for the town. Ongoing work, which is the repair of potholes throughout town. That's something that's, ongoing. We did some major repair, such as the main master sewer lift station. And once we've done that, we eliminated a lot of service call that we used to get on that lift station. And we are supporting several beautification projects from Vice Mayor, and we also did the removal of those blue bins that were in the back of Town Hall, and the landscaping improvement. We started conversion on the medians. During the wet season, we were able to keep, sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry, may I, Mayor?
Sure.
What beautification have you done for me?
Go ahead.
I said I'm supporting the beautification project that you have, and the one that that was done for the removal of the blue bins in the back. It wasn't for you. That's not for you.
Okay, because I haven't had anything done.
No, I said we were.
When we spoke last week, you told me that you haven't had time to have the guys do anything because you've been busy.
Yes.
With the moving furniture from the first floor to the second floor. So
Right.
everything I've asked you to do, that you've had no time to do it yet.
I wouldn't say everything, but come on. Okay.
But I mean, you did some of the potholes.
Sure.
But, okay.
And
Go ahead.
keep in mind that for the past wet season, we were able to keep the town afloat. The stormwater pumps were being operated to keep the lake level at a below flood. And we managed pretty well to keep the town dry while everybody else was being flooded. We knew the certification for the stormwater permit on Southwest 30th Avenue. We continued to, we did a survey of 18 of 30 lift stations. And in terms of projects, we have the FEMA projects, the CDBD project, the FERDAP, and then 3 projects under the MPO that are about to start. We maintained the park, everything during COVID, special, and then we did coordinate for staff during the food distribution. And what we see as upcoming, mostly we need to to have resources for the crew so they can do their job. A lot of equipment needs to be put in the budget for that. Trucks, dump truck, bobcat, in those type of heavy equipment. I plan on updating the 20-year and the stormwater and sanitary sewer master plan, update of the 5-year comprehensive plan, and to name a few. And Vice Mayor, the 3 Carolina pumps, definitely those are going to be done the upcoming months coming up.
Okay, may I, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Because she brought up the pumps. Okay, because this is a very urgent matter, because these pumps they should have been repaired a long time ago. Okay, they're all 3 of them are leaking oil. Okay, and they've been putting kitty litter down. Okay, now I spoke to Miriam. We had a discussion on this, today, and we talked last week, and you were supposed to get together with Harry. Did you did you ever have that meeting with Harry to discuss the pricing?
No, no. I wasn't going to discuss that with Harry. It was no. Did I say I was going to? No.
So can you tell me when?
Vice Mayor,
okay.
Vice Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to get the reports done, and have them presented to the commission. I don't want to deviate into one particular thing. I mean, you can wrap up and ask any questions.
Okay. Well,
I wanted to keep this moving along.
And I got a question for the Vice Mayor. I thought we discussed those 3 pumps a while back, and they were going to be replaced like one at a time or something. Is that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes. Our last meeting, the guy went on vacation. He came back sometime last week, but that's not the only thing. After we talked, I talked to him again, wanted to verify that whatever we discussed was all it was going to be, no more surprises. And that's when he said, oh, we have to go and also work on the motors. So that's an additional $12,000 that we need to get the approval for. And I just received that yesterday.
Okay, well, let's continue on with the report then.
Oh, I'm sorry. And as I mentioned, for the upcoming, I see we need a lot of equipment for the crew. And in terms of town hall, resurfacing of the paving is a major thing that needs to be done. In the meanwhile, as I was discussing with Vice Mayor, she wants to see something done, and we can do a coating that will last up to 2 years, but the real work has to be resurfacing. I would like to see, and I see a difference in the staff. They're being more cooperative, more of a team building among themselves, and then I'll be waiting for Dude Solution to go in and implement that, and where we can really do the work in a more efficient way. That's all I have.
Okay, JC, all yours.
Yeah, let's see. We're gonna go. I think that my staff, they forgot to, they didn't hear the word briefly. But we'll go with IT.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Mark Kula, IT Director. A lot of things that we got done in the last year, trying to move the town forward. I'll make it really brief. One of the biggest things is getting our meetings and being able to do it virtually at a very inexpensive cost. I think a lot of cities that I've spoke to spend a lot of money on it. We're able to do it efficiently, very quick. That's one of the bigger things that I'm very proud of. Also helping to get Everbridge, also helping to get our enterprise software, our Laserfish up and running. We're working with finance and Tyler Tech. Also bringing on InterDev, which will be our GIS software, which will really help our town. In the near future, we should have a lot of our infrastructure up and running, making us, let's just say, ahead of the IT curve. Also, we're going to be doing a new Wi-Fi infrastructure within the town. Probably that will be up in the next 2 months. And a lot of these big projects, like Harry previously stated, all should be up and running by October 1st. We've done a lot in the past to keep things moving, and I praise the commission for supporting me on those things, getting those projects done, and keeping us way ahead of the technology curve, which I think will definitely benefit the town in the future. And that's all I have right now. Any questions?
No questions.
All right, perfect. And lastly, building department, Miguel.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Miguel Nunez, Building Official, IT Director Pacula. Will you please allow me to present a little bit of PowerPoint presentation that I have? I know the town manager, Jimenez, told me that I have 30 minutes to present it, but I'm going to be doing it in 5.
No problem. Do you need a PowerPoint you have, or seriously?
Yes, sir. I need to be a presenter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not a problem. Let me do that for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes like JC Jimenez allowed me to do, but no, I'm going to be doing 5.
There you go, sir. You're all set.
Thank you. Okay, everybody can see my screen, just to make sure. I imagine that everybody can do that.
We can see it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just to let you know, I'm going to be presenting the 2020 snapshot report from the building department, but it wouldn't be a building department if we do not go into the what is our mission statement. That means we are dedicated to be proactive in serving our residents and business community by providing an experienced administration team, implementing the Florida Building Code in the town of Pembroke Park. We do this by providing a positive delivery service and are recognized as a leader in customer service organizations. Now, that being our mission statement, now we go to what is the building department? The building department, besides many functions that it has in town hall or any other department has, it has only 2 core responsibilities: permitting and inspection. Within that, obviously, there's code enforcement and so on. But how do you measure that kind of activity? The performance measures should be established by assessing how efficient and effective the department is by conducting, obviously, your core responsibilities. Therefore, there are 2 categories that we can determine that allow us to monitor those measures. One is our goal-oriented measures or performance measures, or our trend measures. Now, when we go into that, what are our performance measures? Basically, we do that every single day by the time we go, or any customer goes into our building department. You have here 5 of the items that normally are based on what we did daily and use as our performance measures, and we continuously evaluating and striving to be a better service provider. Like for how much our customers are spending in our lobby, how much time do we spend to assess a customer, how easy to move our processes, and obviously the reviews, and how timely we do the field inspections. These are normally given to you in a monthly service. Now, we have what is called the demand trends. We also have that, which is the number of customer service, the application number, the permits issued, the plan reviews, and inspections performed. Normally, we'll give you that in our monthly reports, but we will be providing what is called a trend line now that we have the sufficient data, being a year and a half collecting that data. And you're gonna start seeing that on the next monthly reports. Now, What are our initiatives and accomplishments? Both basically, we have been very lucky that our initiatives have become an accomplishment at the same time. For example, we have what is called a substantial electronic plan review service and customer service as a response to the COVID-19. Also, we have requested and obtained a grant in the amount of $7,500 for the Broward County Board of Rules and Appeals for our proposed large format scanner, which is going to be seeing that in the next commission meeting as an integral part of our electronic service. Now, we have selected with other town office a new permitting software like IT Director Pacula and Finance Director Taubenfeld just mentioned a few minutes ago. We started the scanning of all the records of the building department, so we have a fully integrated electronic record system, including a Laserfish. We have, and this is something that I'm working directly with the Mayor Jacobs, Town Manager Jimenez, and Town Attorney Melissa Anderson, I propose in the future an amnesty program, and I will leave it like that. I don't want to hinge it. So, having a problem in that. Now, also, one of the most important things during the pandemic, especially 2020, we maintained the budget of the building department. That means we never went up or we never went down. We managed the building department, so we didn't get in red items. We also merged the code enforcement unit within the supervision of the building department, facilitated a number of reviews under the electronic system, achieved designation of the Platinum City by the Broward County for Florida Alliance Action Permitting Team or Unit, created a high standard for the Town Code of Ordinance flood category while obtaining approval by the state of Florida and the Florida Department of Professional Management, created the required state of Florida building permits and inspections utilization report, presented the town of Park in the community outreach for the Florida Department of Emergency Management FEMA in Dania Beach, that was back in September, where we answered questions to our residents about the flood provision, about the insurance rates and discounts of the town by our CRS rating. Provide an accurate and timely snapshot to the state of the town after passing the storm Irma as required by the Broward County Emergency Center via the Rapid Impact Assessment RIA. And obviously started the procurement process by selecting the contractor by the proposed building department offices, while in parallel, the permitting process is progressing to eliminate waste and time in any delays. Now, those are a snapshot of our accomplishment. And I know I speak very fast, but I want to make sure that I did it in 5 minutes. What are goals for the future on our building department? This is a very aggressive goals, and you're gonna see. First, our goal is to have completed the construction of the proposed building department offices by the end of March 2020. Obviously, that would allow options for the police department to go into what the location is on the building department right now. Completion and implementation of the new permitting software for added efficiency and productivity by October 1st, 2021, obviously with assistance and cooperation with all the other departments in town. Now, synchronize the current code of ordinances with the newly adopted Florida Building Code. Launch the proposed amnesty program, I'll leave it like that, for the benefits of our residents and property owners. Now, the next two are the biggest goals that we have for the building department. And I believe those were the biggest questions that are gonna come. As you know, most of the police department, fire department, and other departments are what is called accredited department. We will try to obtain the accredited status from the International Accreditation Service and the International Code Council, which will place the town of Pembroke Park Building Department in the 5th accredited building department in the state of Florida, and expected to be the 25 worldwide. That's as of today accreditations. We don't know at that time what's going to happen. So that means we're going to be in the worldwide competition for the accreditation of the building department for other, which they're going to be looking into our assessments, our performances, and all the operations that we do. Now, this is what I feel proud that we will be able to accomplish by the end of this year. We're expected to be 98% paperless. And I know Mayor Jacobs love to hear that. Expected to be 98% paperless and fully electronic, with only accepting paper for later, for later time to the non-technological customers. You know, we have customers that they don't have access to technology and they cannot be, sometimes they cannot present it. So that is what we have. Now, based on that, do you have any questions? And I will have answers.
I'm so happy to hear that about the paper, that we are reducing that much. It cost us so much money in ink and paper and copy machines. You know, this is a huge reduction, and it does save the town a lot of money overall. But it's also, I think, the most environmentally friendly thing to do for us as well. So,
Mayor, I just wanted to thank you guys for taking the time and listening to each of the departments. They work very hard on getting their reports done, and I think it's very important that each of you and the public understands and hears the things that we've accomplished. A lot of hard work has gone in there, and well, I just think that this was a very useful and exercise. So,
Mr. Mayor, may I comment?
Go ahead.
Okay, Mayor and commissioners and staff and the public, I think they all did a phenomenal job, and I see what Yolanda and JC are trying to do, and that's bring them out, let us know, let us comment. But the intent Yolanda has achieved, and JC, and that is to get everybody rolling in a direction, in a vision. And they all did phenomenal. They really did. And I was really glad to see that, because, you know, they know that JC and Yolanda want them to participate in vision, make it better, share, everybody working together. And I have to give Yolanda, commissioners and mayor and vice mayor, an A+, because they achieved their goal. Got people up, and for the first time, we're getting these reports out and we're all listening. And I thought it was very, very good from all participants. Thank you.
JC?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't have any more comments. Actually, I want to thank you for bringing this forward to all of us. That way we have a recap of what happened last year and what our expectations are of the town for this year. And this is a great way to start the year. So we all kind of have a little coming together here, which will lead me to the next item, but I will entertain any more comments from the clerk commissioner or vice mayor.
I agree with the clerk, with the not vice mayor. I agree with Mr. Howard. They all did an excellent job. They know what's expected of them and what they need to do to help us move forward.
And I agree too. Thank you.
He did go over 5 minutes. I was timing him though.
The next item, Mr. Mayor, 15.3, if we can move on to that quickly, it's going to be very quick.
15.3, workshop to set town commission vision and goals. Town manager, JC minutes.
As to, I guess, piggyback on the previous item, I think the next step, and I think it's coming up, I think it's time. I'd like for the commission to sit down and really lay the course or chart the course of where you want to see the town moving. I'm talking about setting your goals, discussion.
You know, I just did the PowerPoint in 3 minutes.
Discuss your vision. Miguel, you're a hot mic.
You're
hot
still
mic.
on, Miguel. There you go.
You have your, and I want you guys to lay out your vision and set goals so that way us here in staff, all of our projects, our budgeting, we can cater it to accomplish those goals. And I don't know, haven't seen this commission or this town do this type of exercise in recent history, but it's a very useful tool for managers, for staff, so we can all be singing off the same sheet of music. And one of the things that I've noticed in my 8 times here it seems like a lot of times the departments were just going in all bunch of different directions, and the commission was like going in different directions. And I think this is a good time for us to come in and just have a frank conversation about what we want to see, what projects we want to see, what our goals are. Where do you picture the town of Pembroke Park in 5 years, 10 years? And we start charting that course, and that gives us the blueprint on how to get there.
JC, can I jump in here and just kind of add something? Seeing how we have a new staff member of our town planner, Heidi, I don't know if everyone has gotten their opportunity. I think, Cohen, you said you're doing your check-in with her soon. Commissioner Clark, I think you met with her.
Absolutely, and it was fantastic.
And I toured her around town for 5-6 hours. We had our day. Commissioner Clark, Commissioner Duvall, have you had a chance to meet with Heidi and go around town yet?
I have met with her, but we're planning on this Friday to do our drive around.
JC, I think it's important for everyone to go meet with her and spend some time with her. I'm kind of making her the kingpin of the operation here for the planning and a vision.
Mayor, I wasn't expecting that discussion to occur now. What I want to do is set up a date for just
you want to set up a date.
one item.
Everyone hasn't really had the time to meet with her yet. And when I met with her day one, she was here. I threw the responsibility on her of meeting with all of us, putting some ideas together. So when we have this meeting, it involves you, it involves us commissioners, it involves Heidi to actually get this, get an actual plan for this town. So we all have one vision and we all go one direction with this. That way, when we have these projects start and finish, like the police department. The town of Pembroke Park has been kicking the can since roughly 94, 95 about a police department. Here we are in 2021. So this has been this way with a lot of projects in the past. Projects come up, but there's no follow through. So in this, setting the date for this goal, I think we need to let Heidi get a little time together to put all of this together, so she has her input as well. But until she meets with the other commissioners, do you want to set a date like next month? How far out?
This is what I would recommend. Let her have the meetings with each commissioner, which is almost done. Have those discussions, and then I'll work with her and with Marlon and reach out to you guys so we can have this workshop maybe next month, in a month.
Okay. Then how about at the meeting, at our next meeting, we set a date for this workshop, for this specific workshop. Everyone in agreement with that? Would that work for you, JC?
Yep, that'll work just fine.
Okay. Commissioners, we good?
Yep.
All right.
That's all I have,
Okay, then, Marlon, let's move this as a line item to set the date for a workshop for the commission vision and goals meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. JC, anything else?
That's all I have, sir.
All right. Discussion 16.1, Public Works Update, Vice Mayor Cohen.
I can speak?
Go ahead.
I'm kidding. Okay. First of all, I'd like to say that the guys have been working very well on the median. They've been pulling out the weeds, and it's starting to, clearing out all the weeds. So it looks really nice. I have some concerns, and Miriam, are you on? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Because getting back to the pumps, Mayor, yes, we did speak about this in the past, at a past meeting. Miriam, because this is so important, and I think I brought this up in a past meeting, how important these pumps mean to the town and the residents. It has to do with our drainage, okay? So, and it's an environmental problem, okay? So these pumps really need to be taken care of. So I would like to ask Harry too, and how much is it going to be to fix these pumps?
Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, how much? What was the price for each pump?
It was at 59,000. Now they added another 12,000, so it's going to be 71 roughly, 72, 71.
And Miriam, who are they? When you say they,
pump, the pump manufacturer.
Okay, and why do we have to use them?
That's another reason why it took a while. I've been discussing with them. They told me now it has to be their own parts. They sent me a document that prove it, and I'm going to submit to a Harry procurement so we can have a sole source procurement repair.
Miriam, I would like to see that document that they sent. What is it that they sent you?
Okay, I'll go ahead and email it to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we've already approved this.
I mean, we approved to have these done. Harry, is this budgeted? I know that we have money in stormwater and wastewater.
Good evening, Vice Mayor. To answer your question specifically, there's money allocated for repair and maintenance / capital improvements. I guess I don't have the numbers in front of me to know where we are to date and what the additional repair would cost, but there is money budgeted for repairs.
Okay. Okay, guys, we're getting into raining season. This needs to be done. Okay, so that's why I want to move on this. If Miriam, if you can give me a timeline, work on this. This is so important.
Okay. I will go ahead and send that email over to Melissa so she can review it and see if there's any legal thing, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay. The sooner the better. ASAP. I mean, we have to work on this before the rain comes. Also, I have some more questions too. When are we going to get the cover we got the water pump fixed on the median. When are we going to get the cover? I see you have the tape around it still. I know didn't you have the pump fixed? Why is there no cover on that?
They still have to, they were missing a part that they placed on order, and they're waiting for that part to come back. It should be there. Tomorrow is Thursday. It should be I believe by Friday they should be able to finish it.
That you what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Miriam.
I will imagine by Friday they should be able to get everything done.
I know, because it's been a while. Okay.
Yes.
Also, I have some other questions because I have a lot of concerns here. Those reflectors, are we responsible for those, Miriam? The ones on the medium that are all bent and eyesore?
They're from FDAT, and we already ordered them.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's see, I had something else, the reflectors. Okay, what about on the walkway, the Howard Senior Clark walkway? When are we gonna get the what do you call those? The poles that you already put the pipe in the ground?
Yeah, we put it today also. Didn't you see it?
No, I saw the cones on top of it.
No, we replaced them. We put them.
What
yesterday.
time did you do that? Because when I was out there tonight, I mean, before the meeting, there was cones.
I was told they were put yesterday afternoon, late afternoon.
No, nope.
Okay, I'll double check them. I'll find out why, I should say.
JC, you were out there yesterday, correct?
Yeah, I was out there around 4:45, Miriam, and
and it was still there?
And the cones were still on top.
Okay, yeah, the cones were still there.
I'll find out why, because they told me they put them.
Okay, if you can take care of that, I'd appreciate it. One more thing, let's see. So I took some notes. Hold on 1 second. Okay, and the pressure clean. When are we gonna, we talked about this at the last meeting. JC, you're gonna look into this. Where are we at with that?
Miriam?
For me, I received a quote. I was letting you know this afternoon. I received a quote. Right now, I need to double check because it's going to be mostly on the median. When you go on the sidewalk, that's not every portion of the sidewalk needs to be pressure cleaned. It's not uniformly bad. I mean, it's not a good word, but tomorrow the contractor is coming back because what he quoted me wasn't proper. So this time around, he's gonna go with either Gary or Byron. So he get the whole length of where we need to go. We need to have pressure clean.
Okay, because I think we were talking about, I know that when I spoke to you this afternoon, you said that you spoke to this contract,
Yes.
the contractor, and it was, I think he quoted you $1,400, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, and that was from doing 56 to, what was it?
48.
48. I mean, to me, that seems like a lot of money, but we want to do the whole boulevard,
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we need a quote for, not just a portion.
Right. So he's gonna go back out with Gary.
And I think we need to get a couple of different people to get different prices, because to me, $1,400 to do a small portion, it seems like a lot of money to me. I know that we have, you mentioned that we had I know we have a commercial pressure cleaner that I think you mentioned at the last meeting something, the motor was burnt out?
Yes, it just so happened that that motor was really, really shot. There's nothing we can do with it. So it's only the tank we can use. So it wasn't, they took it to the shop and it wasn't worth fixing. So
let me ask you, how much would it cost for a motor?
They didn't really tell me. They just said that when they bought it over there, they looked at it and said it wasn't worth fixing. Yeah.
Because I know we had a big commercial, the truck with the water thing on there, and I was, we might be able to even have the guys kind of use that around, when they have time to go around and maybe do the town hall, do some pressure cleaning around the building, and those, what are they called, the bumpers, are those bumpers they call the yellow things, the car bumpers?
Parking lot.
Yeah. Parking lot, yeah. Those need painting, and especially in the park, the preserve across the street.
Yeah, the
and
park
that
is already
needs pressure
done.
cleaning too.
Yes, the park, they already done the park.
Oh, they did. They did pressure cleaning.
Yes,
Did they paint?
Painted. Yeah, they painted the bumps.
Oh, they did. Okay, all of them.
In the parking lot, yes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the town hall? When they're going to start that around the town hall?
When we do the surface, and we'll do all that one. Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. Okay, so, but right now, I think I want you to focus on those pumps. They need to be fixed.
Sure.
And we got to get those going before the rain comes in.
Yes. Okay.
All right. All right. And thank you, Miriam.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
And that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, JC.
You're welcome.
All right. 16.2 Agro-Eco agreements. Commissioner Clark.
Okay. What we've come up with right now is an internship for Logan. I have spoken several times about how we were trying to figure out a way that we could accommodate him. He's a young man. I think he just turned 18, and he's in, I think, the last year of college. And so we've all been brainstorming, trying to help him. There was a huge problem because of COVID. Nobody wants to either do it to support him, Sierra Club, or we couldn't find another vehicle to get him into it. So I was brainstorming with Melissa, and I said special projects, and then she came up with internship, and then she had to talk to Yolanda. And so through all that, they have come up with an internship that will allow him to do his experiments that he's going to do over in the garden. Okay, we have an allocated area for him. And I think it's very positive for a young man like that to have an opportunity that he can go in there and he's going to write a paper. And the Sierra Club supports him. I would like to see the town of Pembroke Park support him. I don't know how many weeks did Melissa or Miriam, how many weeks is he going to, or Yolanda, how many weeks is this going to go on? 12 weeks, 16 weeks? Does anybody have that number?
I don't know, Commissioner. I think we need to probably verify with Logan how long he wants the internship to be. I would imagine it would be at least for the length of
For the rest of the
a
school year.
school season, since it's an internship.
Yeah, okay, but it's very positive, commissioners. So I'd like for us to, I asked Melissa, you know, if we get the blessing of the commission tonight to prepare a resolution and allow him to go forward with these experiments on soil. So if we could move that forward and have Melissa prepare a resolution for next week, adopting this, and let him have a shot at experimentation. He will be overseen by Pembroke Park. I'm out there, Miriam's out there, Levon's out there. There's several people that work with him, and we're confident that it'll be a very positive result. Plus, the Sierra Club will also be involved, backing him and supporting Pembroke Park on our adventures in the future. So it's a win-win for both parties. So that's what we've come up with to resolve Logan's issue with all the roadblocks that were in front of him with this project. So, Mr. Mayor, can we put that on for next week?
We can.
Okay.
That's, you just have it listed as discussion. So
Yeah.
Are you creating a resolution then?
Well, Melissa would, yes. Approving.
Okay,
it all.
that will be prepared for next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, then let's put that as a line item for next meeting.
Yes, and I think Yolanda's gonna have an employment agreement too. So we'll take
Okay.
care of that.
Okay, well, we'll put it on as a line item, and that way it's not in the consent there.
Thank you.
All right. Number 17, attorney reports.
I wanted to give a brief update on the BSO litigation. Former Sheriff Scott Israel was deposed. And so anybody who wants to discuss his deposition can come by my office and talk to me, and I'll give you a brief recap. But that's where we are. I think council is working towards drafting a summary judgment, and but that litigation is progressing. And I also am going to go ahead. I'm finishing up a procurement ordinance that I've been working on, because we have so much procurement going on right now, and it really needs to be amended and fixed up. My next project after that is going to be working on the drafting a charter review ordinance so that the commission at least has the choice to move forward with that if they want to.
Okay,
That is my report.
all right. Any questions? Nope. Moving on. Number 18, town manager reports. JC, you're
JC,
muted.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. As you saw earlier, the newsletter that's getting ready to be sent out. We're shooting for February to send that out. Also, our website is still being worked on. There were a number of issues that I felt that needed to be corrected before we went live. It's more formatting and just making it look uniform with, like, when you go into each individual page. Okay. It's a picky thing. I'm really picky about that. But I just want it to look professional and look, something to be proud of once it goes live. And I know Marlon is helping me out a lot there. We're going to be having a meeting this Friday, and hopefully we will be going live shortly thereafter. All right. Other than that, I'm keeping it short.
All right. Any questions? No questions. Moving on. Number 19, commissioner reports. Commissioner Clark.
Okay, I pretty much have discussed, what is coming, and like I said, when we started with this new round of MPO projects, then I think that next month we need to have a little discussion on what commissioners want to see done, and then staff can be directed to prepare the applications. A lot of work, but it'll be worth it. We can get a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
And I think that would fall under our meeting that we're planning. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, wherever you do it, I'm with you.
Okay, I think that would work great under our workshop set for the town commission for the vision and goals. Once we'll come up with that date at the next meeting. Anything else? Commissioner Clark?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Clerk Commissioner DeVille.
I think we're off to a great start. We have a good team. Let's just continue moving forward.
All right. And Vice Mayor Cohen.
I agree with Ray, but I do have something I forgot to mention, because I know we talked about it at the last workshop. I'm looking back at my notes, and I know that JC, you were supposed to meet with Miriam, and that was was it the assessment form? Was that completed? Because we were supposed to get an update on that.
The
assessment.
Which assessment?
It was from Public Works.
What assessment
Hey,
form?
HR, is Yolanda still on?
I'm here.
Yeah, can you chime in on this, please?
In the last workshop, the commission had asked us to look into the Public Works Department as far as like the operational effectiveness and efficiency. And I had immediately sent a follow-up email to Miriam asking for a few reports. Do you recall?
I recall because I took notes. That's why I'm asking if that was completed. I thought JC was supposed to have a meeting with her, or you met with her.
Let me Yolanda and take care of that. Let me just allow me that. Let me go with Yolanda.
Yolanda, can you explain a little bit more on this, please?
Yes. The commission was talking about the Public Works Department And then the manager said that he was gonna work with me to do an assessment of the department. I think that same night, I sent an email out to Miriam asking for a list of different things, schedules, for example, who's doing not only the regular maintenance, but what's the schedule for any of the proactive beautification projects? You know, what's the status of all the vehicles that we have, and which ones are the most critical as far as providing maintenance for them? Not maintenance, I'm sorry, repairs, because we do have some safety issues that need to be addressed. And then I think it was also, I said send a follow-up email asking on the status of the priorities list that we put together in the last staff meeting that we had with the Public Works Department team. So I know
I met with Miriam and I went over those items. And she, you know, a number of them are getting proposals, prices on it, but her and I did meet and we went over that list from the original meeting. So I have met with her and she is working on getting prices, because a lot of these items require prices.
Okay. Okay, I just said, I mean, I had my, you know, I forgot to mention that under Public Works comments. All right, thank you. I have no more to say.
All right. And then it comes down to me. Looking at my notes here, I discussed the flyover, the PD, where we're at. One thing I would like to bring forward to you commissioners to share with you is that I'm still working on the background for funding for the police department to help. We have an opportunity to get some money from the Broward delegate. It would be pushing this item forward to try and get some money to help us out with the startup cost. So we will be putting everything together, or I will be putting everything together, and we'll be bringing it back forward to the commission for the next meeting. So JC will have stuff, I'll have stuff, and we'll get it all together. Besides that, I think the town has made some really good progress. We have a lot to do, a lot that's going on, and a lot to move forward with. So the staff is getting on board. Everyone's doing their job. Let's keep up the good work. You know, we're all here for one reason, is to make this town move forward. And I think we're doing a great job doing it. So paper reduction is huge. I'm really glad to see Public Works, or I'm sorry, the building department taking the lead on that with a 98% goal. That's amazing. So clerk's department, I'm on top of you for that. I'll let the clerk commissioner take care of it. But, you know, he remembers when we got elected, that was the first thing I went after, was reducing the amount of paper that we received. Remember those garbage bags of all the paper? All right. Next, we have 20 announcements. January 28th, 2021, we have the Planning and Zoning Board meeting at 5 p.m. February 10th, 2021, regular commission meeting at 7 p.m. February 18th, 2021, will be a hearing examiner meeting at 5 p.m. February 24th, 2021, there's a workshop commission meeting at 6 p.m. Any questions on that? No? Okay. Everyone's favorite part, line item 21, adjournment. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Concludes our meeting. Go ahead, Mark, and end our meeting.
You got it.
Thank
This
you.
conference is no longer being recorded.
Yeah, I guess I would. I did that with you too when they were picking on you.